Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Simone behind the glass for us today as we break down all things NBA, all things NFL, and of course we'll bring it back to the beloved Sacramento Kings. But first, Chris, Anthony Davis was Anthony Davis. I mean, we'll never joke about injuries, but
can we call it that?
It looked so
Come on.
insignificant that it felt impossible. It was just a very Anthony Davis situation.
It was the most.
That's the only way I can put it. Because look, to your point, this is your working theory. When things don't look that bad, a lot of times it's worse.
I guess.
But then in the fourth quarter, he looked a bit similar. He wasn't grimacing as much. It was just a bizarre situation.
So weird.
And he was cooking.
Yeah.
He was cooking.
Well, you're really trying to get your coach fired. So, you can't be winning basketball games and trying to get your coach fired
a lot
at the
of
same
clips,
time.
A lot of clips with Anthony Davis not being a fan of one Darvin Ham. So we will break all of that down. And the Lakers are done. Okay,
Yay.
What does that mean for LeBron James? Things change when you are unable to win the games that you're supposed to win. So we will get into all of that. The Nuggets, if they are able to pull this off, what is a dynasty, right? Winning 2, is that good enough to be a dynasty? We'll discuss that. As we mentioned during the crosstalk, besides talking about my beloved salad bowl that I forgot, and I'm never going to hear the end of that.
Never again.
We will hear from Matt George, Locked On Kings, ABC 10. You know him, you love him. 11:30. That is a highly anticipated interview with Matt George. He has got some of the most movement when it comes to the Sacramento Kings, and we are really, really happy to have him aboard for 2 segments. We'll have him for 30 minutes, so you're not going to want to miss that at 11:30. This guy is one of the most passionate fans and media members that I've ever come across since moving to Sacramento. That's at 11:30. And then at 1 o'clock on the dot, we will be joined once again by Amil Fragoso. Now that the Niners draft is over, what are Amil's thoughts on the Niners draft, also the Raiders draft, and all things NFL? As we go back, Chris, to, I guess, a LeBron James situation where when LeBron was losing to the Warriors, I think a lot of people, whether it's Nick Wright or whoever it is, gave him a pass because it was KD, it was a super team.
Yeah.
This is one of the first times, and it's not even like LeBron. Here's the funniest part about this whole thing, because there's a graphic going around that said the Nuggets beat LeBron when he got to, 40,000 points. The Nuggets beat LeBron on, opening night or something. They
destroyed their whole season.
Yes.
Beat him on opening night, beat him on the unveiling of Kobe's statue, beat him on the day of LeBron getting 40,000, and then just ended their season last night.
What's funny to me is that when it is said like this, it comes off like if it wasn't for the Nuggets, the Lakers would be winning. Because that's what
the fans would like you to believe.
Yes, because that's what it was with the Warriors, right? You were literally in the finals facing a super team. LeBron was just moonwalking to the finals in the Eastern Conference every single year, and then he couldn't beat the Warriors, so he could not get those rings. The idea that if not for, it's just the same way the Lakers fans and media find a way to continue to be delusional. If not for the Nuggets, the Lakers, LeBron would have two more rings. Stop it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe last season, if you want to make the argument, because they did get to the Western Conference Finals, would they have gotten to the finals if they beat the team they had to face?
Yeah.
But
they got swept.
Technically they would have. But they got swept. Yes. They didn't even win a game.
Yeah, so it's not even, you can't even do the what if game if you didn't win a single game.
That is the one that I guess you can kind of be sad about if you're a Laker fan, because maybe you probably beat that Heat team.
Sure.
Because that Heat team, it's still impressive how they even got there.
Sure.
But it's not as if you went to Game 7 and lost on a Jamal Murray. I mean, how many game winners is Jamal Murray going to make against the Lakers? But it's not like you lost. You could even make the argument
Look, you're talking to Sacramento right now, who literally went about as close as you can get to winning a championship, went to a Game 7 in a conference final, and definitely would have beaten a Brooklyn, or at the time, a New Jersey Nets team.
Right.
So we get it. We absolutely get it. If that were to be the case, but that was not the case at all. The Lakers got absolutely dominated by the Nuggets. They've lost 12 of their last 13 to the Denver Nuggets. I don't want to hear from Lakers fans about how, this could have been the year or get them out. No.
What about the fact that the games were close?
That shows that the Lakers were competitive.
Season.
They were good. They were a good team. They absolutely are a tough, nightmarish matchup to go against. Doesn't matter if they're a 7 seed, if they're an 8 seed, if they make it out the play-in, or if they secure a spot themselves. They were always going to be a tough elimination because you have LeBron James, and it still is weird to see LeBron eliminated in a playoff series. Like, we just haven't seen it many times throughout his career. But they didn't stand a chance. They did not stand a chance against this Nuggets team because they couldn't execute enough. B, they didn't have the coaching, and C, they weren't deep enough. Rui Hachimura did not show up. D'Angelo Russell was not the guy that he was throughout the regular season. The only 3 players they have that are really worth anything in the playoffs are LeBron, AD, and Austin Reeves. Mm-hmm. And that's really it. And that's not enough to win a title. You can make some noise. You can maybe surprise a team or two, but you're not winning a title with a 39-year-old LeBron James, Anthony Davis, who gets a high five and then has to miss a week. And, Austin Reeves, who's a perfectly fine player, but kind of has to find his role after D'Lo finally realizes maybe I should stop shooting, and when LeBron's tired. But it's just not a good enough team to win a championship. They have absolutely maximized the most out of this roster. And I don't understand why that can't be enough.
Yeah, I'm looking here at who were the big acquisitions over the summer, okay? You have Gabe Vincent, who he was coming over, he balled for the Heat, and one of those projects that the Heat culture, he didn't even get on the floor. And then he gets on the floor towards the end of this season, and it was a little bit confusing. You're playing him opposite of D'Lo. Yeah. They're not really playing them at the same time. Right.
And then they got Dimwitty too. They got
Dinwiddie, but that was during the season.
Yes, but it was after
all the conversations. Christian Wood, who nobody even wanted him, he ended up getting injured. Right, he played decently and then ended up getting injured. And there was who's the young kid that was on the Knicks. He ended up getting injured too.
Oh, Cam Reddish.
Yeah. It was. Who was
this year's Lonnie Walker?
Man, you don't understand. Out of all those guys coming out of college, Cam was that dude, man. We're gonna reinvigorate his career. So at least 3 or 4 of those guys, and then the big thing was Austin Reeves. It felt like you got Austin Reeves at a discount.
Oh yeah.
Do you still feel like they got Austin Reeves at a discount, and maybe it feels like it wasn't as much of a discount as a lot of people thought? Maybe some other team would have paid a ridiculous amount.
I think Austin Reeves is at a discount. I was surprised because I thought, frankly, San Antonio was a team that made a ton of sense for him. They had tons of cap space.
Yeah,
he's
making 12 mil a year.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous. He's a starter. Like he's not a bench player. He's not some. And again, like you look at down the stretch yesterday, LeBron got tired, and Austin Reeves is the guy who hits 2 or 3 of the biggest shots of the game for them. So I've never understood the Austin Reeves disrespect. I think it has a lot to do with, he's the hillbilly Mamba or whatever. Yeah. Like he's got the funny hair and, of course, everything else that goes into it. But no, he's an absolute hooper. I would welcome him on the Kings any day. Absolutely. So I think that's really a microcosm of the Lakers really is they don't care about role players. They don't care about the small names. Those guys are ancillary pieces. It's about the big names. It's about Braun. It's about AD. It's about D. Lou, who thinks that he's a guy who's in the category of LeBron and AD. Probably thinks he's as good as Kyrie Irving, but in actuality, D'Angelo Russell is an absolute. I would never want D'Angelo Russell on my team. I just wouldn't. Like this is exactly what he has shown throughout his career is that he's an offensive weapon, but really doesn't provide anything on the defensive end. And if you shut him down, he really can't provide you much. So I'm glad the Lakers season is over. I was tired in the offseason of hearing how this was the perfect offseason and the Lakers were going to make another run at the title, because realistically that was never going to be the case. This team had LeBron, had AD, and we know how, you know, a 39-year-old superstar and Anthony Davis is going to do in the playoffs. Like, you were just never going to have enough.
Yeah, I'm looking here, and to be honest, you know who the Lakers remind me of? They almost remind me of, in a different way, they kind of remind me of the Magic in a way. Certain teams that just have
Magic?
certain teams that just have too many of the same dude. And it just feels like the Lakers have too many of the same dude. So here is what they did in the offseason. They're paying Rui Hachimura more than Austin Reeves. Mm-hmm. Austin Reeves is getting $12 million. At the end of it, he'll make 14, I think, his last season. This season, Rui made, and I like Rui, but he was not good until last night. Yeah. Last night was his only good game. It's too far gone now, brother. You have to be good before you're down 3-0. So Rui made 15.7 mil this season. Yeah. Next season, he's making 17 mil. And the season after that, he's making 18 mil. Mm-hmm. And then he's a free agent after the 2025-2026 season. So I'm looking here. They re-signed Austin Reeves. Bleacher Report gave him an A+ for that. They re-signed Rui, and Bleacher Report gave him a B for that. They extended Anthony Davis. I forgot. They extended Anthony Davis after this season. And those were, I guess, the main things that they did within the team. And then they go out and they go ahead and they get the guys that we talked about, and Gabe Vincent. And I mean, Vanderbilt, I think he's just still on the team. And ultimately, man, it's just, they were never going to be good enough. And people tried to convince themselves that they would be. And they are who they are. And now D'Lo, I have no clue. Look, I got a source. A lot of people talking about the streets and sources and things like that. Look, I got a source that said straight up, going in to this offseason, into this postseason, before anything was done, the wish list for these teams was Klay Thompson, D'Lo, and Malik Monk was third. I do not know what that order is now. I have no clue. Hopefully that's still the order. But D'Lo, Chris, and I don't do the bench GM or the couch GM thing, but I don't know how you can look at D'Lo and say, I trust you as a number 2 option on a championship team. Maybe number 3. Maybe.
Sure. I'm good. I'm personally good.
I'm cool off that.
I'm so good.
I'm cool off that. All right, when we return, continuing the conversation, what does this mean for Darvin Ham? You know, people talking about Brown out of town. Well, Brown don't got Anthony Davis and LeBron James, okay? Darvin Ham, and also what this means for LeBron in LA. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Shout out to the Sac Chat. Shout out to the text line, the call line, 916-339-1140. Your thoughts on bringing LeBron and Bronny to Sacramento.
LeBron-amento.
LeBron-amento. The King on the Kings. You in?
Oh, man.
Bronny.
Please.
All right. You want a Norris Cole comp? Ooh. Bronny James. Bronny James Jr. Is that what you saw?
The next Norris.
Or Quentin Grimes is his ceiling. That's what people are telling me.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Great. I don't know. Bronny is going to be, honestly, though, we're talking about Davion Mitchell with like 2 more inches. Yeah. No, I'm serious, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the hope. They are hoping for a better Davion Mitchell in Bronny. That's his that is his trajectory.
Yeah. Could he maybe whatever. I mean, we could throw people. I was like, could he maybe be like a Josh Hart? Like, is that maybe like an absolute ceiling?
Josh Hart,
where he's just like a dude who comes in and just
Bronny's
messes
like
everything
6'2".
up. I think Josh Hart's like 6'3", 6'4". I would think, because Bronny obviously has the genes of like he's a pretty sick athlete. Like the from what I've seen at SC and a little bit at Sierra Canyon, like he is very, very fast. And his defense, absolutely, you point to the Davion comp and everything like that. Like he is going to be a defensive-minded player in the NBA if he wants to survive. Maybe like a GP2. Is that too high of a? No,
but what are we talking?
Like
GP2,
Gary Payton
GP2 was almost out of the
Gary
league.
Payton 2, LeBron 1, LeBron 2.
No, I don't think that's too crazy. But what are we talking about?
Maybe like by the time he's 27, he'll be ready for the league, like GP2. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty crazy. This is definitely like nepotism at its finest. But
which I don't, get in where you fit in.
Exactly. Somebody's going to collect that check.
Somebody's going to collect that check. It is what it is. And I'm looking here at just some of the other comparisons and projections that you're seeing for Bronny. And, we're going to do this thing. And
it's somebody's mid.
Somebody's going to, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Bronny James, this would be the ceiling of ceilings. And I don't think he's as tall as this guy. The highest ceiling I have seen, I'm just seeing this now, this is on sportingnews.com. Derek White.
Oh, I was hoping Danny Green. Whoa, Derek White isn't
Derek White? Yeah.
Derek White just went crazy yesterday.
And now they're saying Bronny is 6'4", apparently.
Okay. So he's just going to keep getting taller
as we get closer to the draft.
Exactly. His vertical is going to get higher and higher. He's going to get taller.
If he is truly 6'4", Bronny and Derek White are the same height. Derek White is 6'4", 190. Yeah. Bronny is 6'4", 210. Which is that boy. You go be a wide receiver or something, playing around.
Come on, man. Go live out LeBron's dream and go play tight end for the Browns or something.
If you get a Derek White, that'd be outstanding.
That'd be ridiculous. I mean, of course, everybody would love that. Or he could just be another second rounder. Like he could just be every other second round pick that we have ever seen that's not named Nikola Jokic or Draymond Green. Mm-hmm. Like the odds are definitely probably going to be that Bronny is going to be somebody who floats around in the G League. And, I think actually Verlad said it earlier on the morning show, like if Bron and Bronny are on the same team, like just how weird of a situation is that? Like if Bron's, Bronny's like, hey, yeah, some of the younger teammates and I are going to go hit the town, dad. Like, is that like, Bron's going to be like, no, son, that's not happening.
All that, I really threw you to the ground like that, JJ.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I think
you can't act normal. Like you're also, I feel like LeBron, shocker, is like only thinking about himself in this situation.
Yeah.
Like how much of Bronny's NBA experience is going to be ruined by his dad being on the team?
If it wasn't for his daddy,
like
he
ask
might
Austin Rivers.
But if it wasn't for his daddy, he might not even have an NBA
That's a great
experience.
Point, which also makes it worse.
Yeah,
like that makes it so much worse because no one's going to take him seriously. Like if he's on his own team, at the very least, he can craft his own story, all that. Like he can, they can see him working on his game and trying to figure it out, and at least he'll get respect. But if Bron's in the building, there's always going to be oh man, they playing Keon Ellis, they're not giving you minutes because they trying to keep LeBron happy, and that's why they're playing Bronny. So like there's a lot of ramifications from this that aren't just oh yeah, it's just a 15th guy on their roster.
To that point, I'm looking here, and the whole thing was, we want to be the first father-son to play on the same team. But they'd already, as long as Bronny plays in the NBA, they would be the first father-son to play in the league at the same time. Nobody's ever done that.
Right.
So there's no...
made history.
You've already made history. Yeah. LeBron, I guess...
Do you need to double down on that history?
Yeah, LeBron, I think it's safe. I think it's pretty darn safe. Yeah. But LeBron, I guess, wants to also be the first to play on the same team. But no father-son duo has ever even played in the league at the same time.
Right.
So he doesn't have to go.
Right. They
don't have to stay together.
They don't have to, but the reports are that the Lakers are already positioning themselves to do it. I mean, there was a report yesterday in the Athletic that essentially said, where is it here? The Lakers. There was a report yesterday that essentially, here it is. The Lakers are quote unquote very open to drafting Bronny James this June to help fulfill LeBron's dream of playing with his son. Team sources tell Shams, Sam Amick, and our guy Johan Buha. So, those are three very, very credible sources. And the fact that literally the season ends yesterday,
right,
and they are coming out with that report tells you they're already positioning to make this happen.
But that is in hopes of keeping LeBron, because also everybody is saying that Brian Windhorst said LeBron may test free agency.
It's a way of holding him hostage. In a way, it's like, hey, man, you said you wanted to play with your son. We got him. We drafted him in the second round. Like, that's what you wanted. He didn't go undrafted. We could have just let him go undrafted and then Wild Wested. But we drafted him, Bron. That's how much we want you. You're the one who said you wanted to play with your son. We got that option open for you. Are you man or your word? Like, that's the game that the Lakers can play here.
He might still leave, though.
He should. Here's also the question. What does LeBron want to get out of the rest of his career? Does he want another ring? Is this what he wants? If this is all that he cares about in terms of his legacy, his remaining legacy, then that's what he's going to do. He's just going to go to whatever team Bronny is on. It could be the Atlanta Hawks, or it could be the Los Angeles Lakers,
or the Kings.
Or the Kings. Again, if that's what his goal is, then he's going to do it. But if he wants to win another championship and inch himself closer in the GOAT conversation and do all that, then he needs to leave. Yeah. The Lakers are not serious about winning championships. They're serious about being a big brand.
Right.
That's it. And of course, winning comes with that. But first and foremost, we have the stars. This is the premier place to be if you want to be a star. The winning, that comes with it, but the most important thing is that we're selling tickets and we're selling a dream.
Which do you think is more important, really quickly? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts.
For LeBron?
Yes.
LeBron, I thought I knew was championship, but this new dude seems only concerned with playing with his son.
I think LeBron may feel as if he's chasing a ghost, and his whole goal now is to just be different.
Yeah,
than
carve
MJ.
his own thing.
I'm the first person to win these championships with multiple teams. I'm the first person to play with my son, talking about the longevity piece. I'm the scoring champ. I think LeBron knows that ship has sailed a bit.
I think so, too.
As far as championships to championships. Yeah. I don't think LeBron feels like him getting to 5, which would be awesome because Kobe and all that. But I don't think LeBron feels like getting to 5 because he ain't getting to 6.
Yeah.
I don't think LeBron it's like prize picks. Yeah. The difference between 4 and 6.
Yes,
5 doesn't really do
everything.
5 doesn't really do anything.
Right. Well, Green Devil.
Oh, the Goblins.
It's the
Anthony
worst.
Davis, don't get me started.
It's
all
the
right.
worst.
When we return, whether or not LeBron will be with the Lakers, will Darvin Ham. We'll hear from Michael Malone and some quotes from Darvin Ham that I promise you are real. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories. The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit SACLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Cool moms love the lounge. Show your appreciation this Mother's Day by treating your mom to specials on some of our favorites all day long.
Hey there, wanted to take a moment of your time so I could talk to you about insecurity. I could talk to you about confidence. I could talk to you about girth. Yeah, what? Girth? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you about the Upsize Clinic at UpsizeMatters.com. My good friend, Dr. Jack, and his friend, Dr. Pash in San Francisco, have a safe, effective, long-lasting doctor-performed procedure. It's non-surgical, virtually pain-free. Now listen, girth is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. What Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash are offering is a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation and get that confidence back. Reset in the bedroom with your partner. Financing is available. It's very private. It's very discreet. Available in Roseville with Dr. Jack and San Francisco with Dr. Pash at UpsizeMatters.com. That's UpsizeMatters.com.
Time. Jokic a screen. Murray to try to break the tie. James, a bump, a feed, a punch shot. No! Zero's on the clock. The Nuggets advance. They have won. And the defense of their championship title is alive and well.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Almost similar to Frank Vogel, who we talked about yesterday, and something's in common with Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel. Both coached LeBron, but how people weren't buying some of the stuff Frank Vogel did during the season, trying to hype their guys up. Darvin Ham has some things like that Chris is going to get into. But first, let's hear from Michael Malone and what he had to say about Darvin Ham.
I would be remiss. I think Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach. And, that's not an easy job. And I think Darvin does it with class. And I think he and his staff deserve credit for that. He's a good man, good coach, and I wish him all the best. And hopefully he'll be around there for a long time because he deserves to be. And a credit to their team. They're not an easy out. LeBron James is arguably the greatest player of all time. Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. And they gave us all we could handle. We did not want to get on that plane going back to LA. And so now we can, try to get ready for Saturday against a beast in Minnesota. But I got to give the Lakers a lot of credit, man. That was a hard-fought series, a lot harder than that 4-1 final score would indicate, because we had to scrap for every game that we won in this series.
Do you think the way he purposely says that's not an easy job, that ain't just about basketball? Right. That's about LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
That's about the Lakers in general, Jeannie Buss, the stars, the brand. He's talking about the brand, not just it's not an easy job to be a basketball coach.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's like coaching the Knicks or something. It's just like there's so much pressure. There's so many fans that have so many opinions. You got to quiet all the noise. I mean, Darvin? I mean, we've been we obviously are not in Southern California, but we see a ton of Darvin Ham slander on all of our timelines. So I can't imagine how big it is if you're in that echo chamber of just Lakerdom and you feel like Darvin Ham isn't your guy. I'm sure there's tons of content around to see all of the things that Darvin Ham has done wrong. And I'm sure it's nothing he has done right? Because that's just how it works is if you don't like a coach, everything they do is bad. Everything's their fault. And it can be no blame on the players. We experienced some of that even here in Sacramento. But yeah, I mean, Darvin Ham, that's an impossible situation. You're a first-time head coach. I mean, let's think about it. Like LeBron tried to get Eric Spoelstra fired in Miami. He's, of course, like every single coach that LeBron has had from Eric Spoelstra to David Blatt to all of them, Frank Vogel, all of them have been under the hot seat at some point. Some of them lose their jobs. Some of them end up coaching themselves out of losing their job, like Ty Lue. I just think that it's not just the Lakers. I think LeBron's the biggest part of it. I just think he's a guy who, he's the smartest guy in the class. He's also the most talented. And when you have somebody who's smarter and better than everybody else, you can't tell them anything, right? Like you can't, what is Darvin Ham, who was an NBA player himself, was, whatever. He played, I don't even know how many years, but he was never a starter or any impact player like that. How is LeBron supposed to, I mean, this might sound a little messed up, but how is LeBron supposed to respect what Darvin Ham is telling him? That's the issue with coaching LeBron.
Yeah. That's the issue with coaching LeBron.
You have to get his respect. You have to earn his respect, and it's crazy.
Is the timing, am I off on this timing with Mike Brown and Darvin Ham with the coaching?
They were hired at the same year.
Okay, they were hired at the same year, and I think that was a reason that Mike Brown's name had been thrown around because LeBron has a relationship with him, and he coached him when he was younger because it's very – who LeBron, who do you want?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Who do you want? It's the same with all of these guys. KD, it's the same idea. Here's some, before we get into some of the funny stories that you have, Chris. This is a quote from last night from Darvin Ham. And I asked Chris, I said, is this real? And Chris said, yes, it is real.
It's very real.
It's
insane.
Dave McMenamin posted it. So it's real deal.
This is what you do when you got your back to the wall.
Yeah.
And I don't really blame him.
If you're coaching a team and one of your starters is like 10 games in a row just pooping the bed, what are you going to do? And obviously he does not say pooping there. Right. If you're coaching a team and one of your starters is like 10 games in a row just pooping the bed, what are you going to do? He goes on to say, common sense tends to go out the window when you talk about my job in particular. I mean, he says
this
funny
is a man
stuff.
Who's fired. This is a man who's fired and is letting it fly at this point.
He says funny stuff, but it's just stuff you can't say because someone's going to say, figure it out. I mean, that's one player out of 4, and you have LeBron and AD, and a lot of people love Austin Reeves, and a lot of people love Rui Hachimura. You can't have the offseason that they had with the momentum that they had and say stuff like this. Some of the clips are unfair, but did you see the one where it was, I think it might have been the Nuggets where he said, I wish they would just tell me what they're going to do on offense so we could try to stop it. I mean,
I think that was in Sacramento.
It was Sacramento.
I think he was joking. Yeah. I think it was after the Kings had beaten them the last time in Sac.
Yeah.
He was like, what? Should I just go over to Mike Brown and ask him to give us all of his plays and then we could defend them? Like he does have some strange comments.
Quotes. He's done.
But at the same time, like, I mean, imagine if Mike Brown said that about Kevin Huerter. Because I think that's the spirit of what Darvin Ham's saying is something that I think we can all relate to. Like if I'm also assuming he was talking about D'Angelo Russell there at the first half of the season when he was in trade rumors and
he's definitely talking about D'Lo.
Before he got onto his hot run and all that stuff. Like Gabe Vincent wasn't available. Like where else were they supposed to go? And that's where I hear Darvin Ham, and that's where we've said here in Sacramento, like, where are these guys supposed to go? Like if somebody's trash, but you don't have anybody on the bench to go to, how is that the coach's fault? That's the GM's fault. That's Rob Pelinka's fault, who seemingly, by the way, is nowhere to be seen. No one is ever criticizing Rob Pelinka, who had the offseason of the century, but apparently wasn't enough. Like he hasn't built a good enough team around LeBron. All they've done is take the championship pieces and get rid of every single one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't get how that's all Darvin Ham's fault. I'm not even saying Darvin Ham is the right guy for the job. I think that's clearly a situation where, and you could see the difference, and this is why it drives me crazy when people say fire Mike Brown. You see the difference from a coach who needs to be fired versus a guy like Mike Brown who just didn't have results this season. Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel have lost their locker rooms completely. Nobody wants to hear a word from either of those two. And that's when you fire a coach, when they can't do anything for your current roster. It doesn't matter if it doesn't at that point, it doesn't matter if it's the GM's fault, if it's the player's fault or not, because the players just aren't going to listen to him. You have no other choice. But I would tell you that he was put in a bad situation. It wasn't the worst situation. He absolutely could have made the situation better. But I think the players never gave him a shot. And, is that his fault? Probably. He probably played a part in it. But, the way that more specific, I'll give LeBron credit. He has not been showing up Darvin Ham in the way that I think he could have.
Well, he did a couple nights ago with that.
Not to the extent of like AD sitting on the sideline, not on the bench, D'Lo eating breakfast or whatever.
2 days ago, pushing Vogel's hand away.
Saying high five, psych, gotcha. Like that's, they're just leaving their coach out to dry. I don't feel bad for Darvin Ham again. I think he hasn't done a fantastic job of coaching that team, but it's pretty wild to see everybody point the finger at him and essentially say it can't be anybody else's fault.
No, so we have some of these notes here.
It's crazy.
And the main one, during a home game on February 28th, the Lakers players took matter into their own hands, bypassing Darvin Ham's huddles and opting for a player-led play calls.
Crazy.
So what was he doing? Just sitting there?
He was just sitting there, which is the craziest part of it all, that he just was like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening. And he just stood there and watched it happen.
It was a mutiny.
Pretty much. Yeah. And later in the article, they say this, as some players saw it, was a sign of the locker room coming together in an attempt to salvage a challenging situation with the head coach with whom they often didn't connect. Their self-empowerment, it seems, was born out of a perceived absence of effective direction from the coaching staff.
Wow.
Incredible. And yeah, Shams said later last night that Ham's future as head coach is, quote, in serious peril, and multiple league and team sources tell Shams that with some stakeholders indicating it's, quote, highly unlikely that Ham will return, which I get. Like, it has not been a good 2 years at all. And, I think that a big part of it is just getting LeBron's cosign, and he clearly never had that. I'm sure it'll be part of, we were just talking in the last segment about LeBron's pitch, or I guess the Lakers pitch to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a big part of that pitch is going to be, come pick your coach. Like, who do you want? Because we can do our best to go get him. But I just wonder who it is exactly that LeBron wants to lead him. Because I think all of his options are, even like a guy like Juwan Howard, who he has history with. He just got signed by Jordy's staff in Brooklyn. So I don't know who the guy that LeBron would want to bring in maybe it'll be one of his old high school friends or something. But it feels like we've gotten to that.
It's just
point.
a placeholder.
It really feels like we've gotten to that.
No, but
why
is
doesn't
it
he
crazy?
player coach? I
right? Literally was going to go there.
Yep, Bill Russell, player coach.
Is it insane?
At this point, honestly, no. Like, it's obviously unprecedented.
Or JJ Redick.
Oh, my. I'm going to take that.
Then you would get your mind game pod.
You just get the pod on the bench. Oh, my God.
82
No, you just
times.
solved it. You just solved it. That's happening.
It has to be a peer of LeBron. All right, when we return, we have Windhorse on LeBron's future. And also, as we look at the second round matchups, are we headed towards a new face of the NBA? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Guys, are you ready to give up because you think you've tried everything and you're still dealing with loss of energy, poor sleep, weight gain, and even ED? Revive Men's Health Sacramento has local medical providers that offer low T and ED treatments customized to each patient's unique physical makeup. By working with a specialized compounding lab, personalized treatments are guaranteed, even when generic pills and supplements haven't worked. It all starts with your free comprehensive exam and consultation. Availability is limited. Book today, and for this month only, Revive offers qualified patients a free 1-month supply of personalized ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. The experts at Revive Men's Health Sacramento will work to provide the right treatment for you so you can show up as the best you in all aspects of your life. Call 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566. Or send them a private message at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
ZZ Top, the Elevation Tour. Friday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley with special guest Fog Hat.
Oh, I'm back.
ZZ Top playing all their classic hits. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% on your choice of any 3 or more A.O. Smith water heaters. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Get low prices on the materials you need today because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% off or subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
LeBron's future in LA. Some names being thrown around with the Kings. And Chris's big fish list. Chris, Chris, by the way, his big fish list is all over Kings Twitter.
Holy catfish!
Yeah. Chris really had a winner with that. Chris, where was LeBron? Was he number 9 on your list?
He was number 9 on the list.
Yeah, he was number 9
Just
on
too
the
old.
list.
An old man.
He is the king of kings.
Yes.
And, well, that's Malik. So hopefully
There you go, actually.
we could hold on to Malik first and
Only
foremost.
be one.
We'll hear from Windhorse on LeBron, but first let's hear from LeBron when he was asked if this was his last game as a Laker.
Tonight, was there any thought at all that, this could have been your last game with the Lakers?
I'm not going to answer that. Appreciate it.
Was there any thought at all? So obviously
I like
there
to
was.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. was
Appreciate
nice.
it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
And-
for your question.
And if you ever need to know anything on LeBron, I mean, you don't even need to ask LeBron. You can ask Brian Windhorse. I think Brian
That's
Windhorse
right.
knows more about LeBron than LeBron. Let's hear from Brian Windhorse on LeBron.
I do not think that it will be. However, I do think that LeBron intends to opt out of his contract and become a free agent for the first time since 2018. And I think that will apply a little bit of pressure to the Lakers. I think he's doing it for 3 reasons. Number one, because I think he wants to see what the Lakers do around the draft. They have potentially 3 first-round picks that they can trade, a couple of contracts that they can package with it to upgrade the team. You remember that they did not make any significant upgrades to this team at the trade deadline. LeBron did not forget that, and I do think he likes to have that pressure on them. Number 2, as you may have heard, his son Bronny may be, and I expect to be, in this draft. The Lakers, I think, will keep their draft pick. The New Orleans Pelicans have the option to either take this year's pick or defer to next year. I believe the Pelicans will defer to next year, so I think the Lakers will go into the draft with the 17th overall pick and the 55th overall pick. LeBron has expressed an interest in possibly playing with his son. The Lakers will have potentially 2 chances to draft him. And number 3, I think that there's some features that he can put in a new contract. Number 1, if he opts in, he only gets 1 year and $50 million. He could potentially get multi-years. And also, he does not have a no-trade clause in his contract. There's only one out there in the NBA. It belongs to Bradley Beal. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd like to lock that in as well. So I do think we're going to be hearing some silence from LeBron between now and the end of June as we watch what the Lakers do as a team.
Is that possible? Is it possible to get silence from LeBron?
No.
Zero Dark 23? No, probably
It
not.
got so quiet in here.
I mean, I'm really torn on the LeBron thing. We did this yesterday. You swap, or maybe we didn't do this specifically, but pull out Harrison Barnes and put in LeBron.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. Kings, are they favorites? Are they top 5?
They're definitely top 5.
So you still have Kevin Huerter, and maybe we can have that conversation. But Kevin Huerter, De'Aaron Fox, Keegan Murray, LeBron, and Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
Malik coming off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, if the Lakers were considered title favorites, I mean, I don't see why not. Of course, like it might take a year for LeBron or take some time for LeBron to kind of get acclimated to the system, but I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Like he's still churning away. I mean, even he was the second best, or you could say the best player on a team this year that made the playoffs and did win a game against the defending champs. So you could definitely assume that if he had a young guard and a center, you know, like just like he did with Anthony Davis, I would think that the Kings supporting cast is equal to, if not better than the Lakers.
The problem with the Lakers, which is why,
of course, Anthony Davis is incredible.
Yes,
you know,
which at times,
is
why
when not bumped on the shoulder.
The construction of the Lakers roster made no sense to me because historically, what does LeBron always perform his best around? Shooters.
Yeah.
And you go to a Lakers team who wants to grind and do it at the free throw line. Right. It was just bizarre.
Yeah. LeBron's not a free throw shooter. He is still great at getting downhill, but like it didn't make a lot of sense. D'Lo is not really a catch and shoot guy. Austin Reeves isn't really a catch and shoot guy. And you can see how, you know, if LeBron is on a floor with, you know, Keegan Murray and, you know, I think they would still have Harrison Barnes, and you could put, you know, Keon Ellis out there with him. You could definitely put a lineup out there. Trey Lyles with LeBron, I think, is a fantastic combo. You know, yeah, it's a bit of wish casting, if you will. Like we're hoping that could even be a situation we could talk about. But I think there's no reason to say that LeBron wouldn't do great in Sacramento if you were for whatever reason to choose to come here. I just think that's obviously the biggest hurdle is what I guess drafting Bronny, but I don't know what would be the thing that would ever convince LeBron to pick Sacramento, because that's the only thing about that big fish list that I made that, you know, I shouldn't get upset at a bunch of Twitter people not understanding things, because you put anything out into just the blanket universe, not necessarily
you had beef?
Sports, not beef, but just people were like, oh, these people would rather retire than come to Sacramento. And I'm like, well, these are all acquired via trade, except for LeBron. And that's what I was going to say is LeBron's really the only one that you would have to acquire via free agency. And that's why it's pretty much never going to happen unless you draft Bronny. That's how you really elevate your percentage odds of getting LeBron. And even then,
you're not taking Bronny at 13.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Whatever the second round.
No. Yeah. I think Windhorst said that the Lakers have the 55th pick in the second round, which would be the 5th to last, but there's 60 picks in the draft. So you really just would have to move above 55, which I'm pretty sure the Kings already have.
You know what's funny? Let's say, and this is kind of a weird situation here, but let's say LeBron was 35, right?
Okay.
Basically what I'm getting to is how much better would LeBron have to be to get Bronny in the first round? If LeBron was 35 right now, you could probably, somebody would say,
give me 25 on.
Yeah.
I'm taking him.
Yeah.
I'm taking him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If this is 2018, I think Windhorst said was the last time LeBron was a free. If this was happening before he signed with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yes. Full steam ahead. Whoever. No, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I would trade first round pick. I would not care. Yeah. Get LeBron in the building for 4 more years. And I mean, even Rich Paul said yesterday or 2 days ago, he expects LeBron to play 2 more seasons at least. So, you know, even now you could argue if you're saying you get 2 years of Bron, that's enough for a lot of teams. And, you know, that was really my thing with the big fish list. A lot of the Paul Georges and the Kevin Durant's, even Jimmy Butler, those are all rentals. Like, I think it would be a really tough task for the Kings to bring those guys in and convince them to sign long-term. If either way, these guys are going to be short-term rentals. I mean, yeah, it's you do what you need to do and you maximize the window. And that's the thought process with some of these big swings, is that you're, you know, whatever. We don't know what De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis can take you, or how far they can take you. But I'll tell you what, if you add Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Paul George onto the roster, you'll find out exactly how far they can take you, because that's going to maximize the potential of that roster. You obviously have to give up a lot. More than likely, you'll have to get rid of Keegan to get a lot of these guys. But how bad do you want to see how far Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron can take you with another guy?
Before we
can't have everything.
Close the door on LeBron for now when we get into the second round matchups and the future face of the NBA, I do have something that just crossed my mind, Chris, quickly.
Yeah.
A guy that LeBron respects, right?
Okay.
And I was told from a trustworthy source that it doesn't seem like Paul George and Ty Lue will both be back with the Clippers.
Interesting. Very interesting.
He trusts Ty Lue.
Sure does.
Paul George gets going somewhere else. LeBron gets to stay in LA because he wants to hang out, his daughter and Bryce. I'm LeBron, and I brought a championship to both LA cities. Kawhi still there.
It's there. Yeah.
All right.
It's
when we return, second round matchups.
Gotta play with Russell Westbrook again.
You'll move him again. Gotta. When we return, we will talk second round and who is the next face of the NBA. Stiles and Watkins.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with installation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sponsored by Xfinity. Enjoy the entertainment you love with the Xfinity Stream app. Turn any screen into a TV and take the entertainment you love wherever you go. Xfinity, we connect you to more of what you love.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We will be joined by the one, the only Matt George of Locked On Kings and ABC 10. The guy is basically a celebrity when we're in the media area. At least 5 people come up to him.
Who do you think has more, Frankie or Matt? It's
Frankie's
close.
family,
It's
though.
really close.
Frankie's family, though. Matt, these are some random
That's
people.
true. Matt definitely gets more random.
Matt, you,
and
man.
like Matt's in the front row of us too.
they're
A little
looking.
inside baseball. Matt sits a row in front of us, and
Yes.
so it's one of those where they always end up Matt, and then we have Matt. Somebody's here, man.
And I asked Matt, I said, do you tell them where you're sitting during games? And he said, no.
Okay. No. I definitely don't think he does.
We'll ask him.
It is It's not suspicious, but it is crazy how many people.
It
Like
is-
you would
how do you
think
know?
that he'd say.
How do you know?
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
we'll ask him on the air so that way he has to tell the truth. Before we get into this, and Simone wants you to hop in here as well. Before we get into these second round matchups in the face of the NBA, there's a tweet going around, and I'm not saying that Barstool stole it from Frankie. But all I'm saying is that it's written the same exact way as Frankie.
And how much longer after?
I think it was
like pretty significantly, right?
Yes.
Enough time to copy and paste?
It was I think it was like maybe a day after or later in. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it right here. So and it did really, really well for Barstool. So we got to ride for our guy Frankie Cardicelli.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find the Barstool one here. But basically, if you've been watching the NBA playoffs, you are familiar with these 3 commercials. Okay, no flex zone, which is I believe it's it's Wingstop.
Wingstop. Yes,
It's Wingstop. And by the way, if anybody else has a baby, can you let us know? Text line, call line, the SAC chat 916-339-1140. Does your baby stop whatever they're doing to watch that commercial and then just go about their business?
Yep.
Baby Stiles is obsessed. She'll be doing anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
I could see how it would be like a baby song that like jars your attention.
But she will stop. If she's eating her cracker, she'll stop eating
Not
the cracker.
dancing or anything. She just freezes.
And that's weird because she's always dancing. No dancing. Okay. The other one is Shea Gilgeous.
Big Ray Shremmer fan.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Shrem
drummer's
life.
ear.
Yeah,
Backwards.
drummer's ear. Yes.
What a pro
Deep
wants,
hole.
which a lot of people don't even understand that commercial.
What a pro wants.
But I don't know.
What
It's
a
just
pro
that one
needs.
might be the worst
It's
to
the
me.
worst. Because like it feels like there's an inside joke that we're not in on.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they random? Why are Chet Holmgren and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander randomly singing this? Like, what about this song just resonates with Shea or with Chet? Like, because he said, AT&T, they really understand what a pro wants. What a pro need. Like, why
and
would
then it just ends?
Like, there's no way. It doesn't make
I'm
sense.
highly confident they weren't alive when that song
That's
came
what I'm
out.
saying,
Yeah.
right? Like,
So Frankie put his out 2:17 p.m. April 27th. Okay.
Okay.
Barstool put theirs out April 28th at 7. But it's the same thing. So I'm showing Chris right now over and over. He has them. Then he says, make it stop.
Yep. Make it stop.
Barstool, they add a Peter Griffin picture.
Yep.
Written the same way. 50,000 likes.
Crazy.
2.7 million.
Wow. Engagement farming.
Yes.
Gross.
Impressions. I think they took it from Frankie. But
They
either
did.
way, which one is the most annoying? And the last one is Don't Let Me Go, which I actually like because I'm big on the 80s auto-tune.
Oh,
I know
yes,
Chris
yeah,
Villad's in there. Maybe he's into it too. But I'm really big on the 80s auto-tune. So the first time I heard it, I said, this is kind of a banger. But now I'm sick of it. So out of No Flex Zone, What a Pro Wants, Don't Let Me Go, let's order them most annoying to least annoying.
Personally, I want to put What a Pro Wants at number 1. I really want to put it at number 1.
It's there for me
because it's
too.
also the two athletes are hella random too.
Yeah,
Like why Shea and Chet? It doesn't.
They're
make
on the
any
same team. I don't know.
It's also super lame. Like, why would they agree to do that?
Cash.
Like, it doesn't. Shea doesn't show his face for anything. He never talks to the media. He never does anything. And this is what he decides to do. Is a
Yeah, and Amid Rock makes a good point on Sack Chat. He's saying Christina Aguilera put that song out in 99. SGA and Chet were just babies. If they were even born.
They were even born.
If they were even born.
There's like nothing about it makes any sense. And like because then Shea's like, that was flat. Next time we'll get it. Like it's coming together or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Shea was 1 year old. Shea was 1 year
year.
old when that came out. And Chet might have been even younger. Yeah. Okay.
The No Flex Zone
Chet was not born yet.
I will say.
Chet was not born yet. He was born in 2002.
Doesn't make any sense.
What are we talking about? So I would agree with you on What a Pro Wants because it also doesn't make sense.
Nothing.
At least No Flex Zone. It's annoying, but they're eating. The food looks good, right? The family's having a good time.
Is there some sort of relation? I haven't paid enough attention to that commercial. Is there like the flexing part? Is it like a flex deal?
No, they're playing
you're
Jenga.
Flexing on Jenga.
Yeah, they're playing Jenga.
That's right. Yeah,
No Flex
That's
Zone.
Um,
right. And then
they just look around at each other's chicken, and then it ends.
Cinema.
That is
that's
cinematography
crazy.
right
Like,
there.
yeah. I mean,
916-339-1140. Our
We
guy
can do
Steven wants to be a part of the commercial convo. What's up, Steven? Which one is the most annoying to you?
What commercial is the most annoying?
We're talking about the NBA ones. If you were just
NBA
listening to
ones.
that segment, there's a
Oh,
pattern.
sorry, Steven. You want to talk about something else?
Oh, no. That wide-shouldered one where they're wearing the squared-off shoulder one. That was
the
annoying.
Charles Barkley. You give
the mellow one.
horrible advice, Carmelo.
Yeah, the mellow one with they got Big Perk on there. They're all wearing the big squared-off shoulders like this is 1987 again.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Early 2000s.
Real quick, on the Matt George thing, real quick before I let you guys go, because I only get one call a show.
No.
So, do you think he's gonna double down on a lot of his takes?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. He has to. Thanks for the call, Steven. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know how Matt feels. It's still up. It's still up. So Matt made a song back in the day, Double Down, when it comes to Luka. Yeah. And he did.
Do you know that I made that video?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You told me.
I was like,
you should wear that with pride.
Oh, I do. It's one of my favorite pieces of work that I've ever worked on.
It has to be.
It was probably the funnest. I guess maybe me and Matt could talk about it sometime on air. But it was great. It was a great week.
It's in your portfolio for sure.
I have a lot of. I will say I have a lot of unedited clips in my Dropbox that Matt George does not want to see the light of day. So
right.
Always appreciate Matt. And it's been a while since it's been a while since the end of the season. So we just haven't seen Matt in a while.
Right. And I know he's going to bug us about golf. So
Definitely
Simone, okay, so you said, what a pro. I agree with that.
I do too. I also really want to point out Have you guys noticed? I mean, I know there is a adult beverage that is also a popular commercial. Do you guys notice they lower the hoop? I don't know if I can say which one it is or, with our guidelines, but they lower the hoop. And I want you guys to notice the first guy who goes up there, he totally misses the dunk. And I'm like, why did this make the cut for this commercial? And now you guys are going to notice it.
Is this a newer one?
Yeah.
Is this a new? I think I know.
Like, come fly with me. I'm pretty sure.
But then you know what? And
he misses
basketball.
The dunk.
I've also thought about this just from a logistical standpoint. How many people kick it after playing b-ball and have cold bevies?
No,
I've never been a part of cold bevies after basketball.
Boys crack one over with the boys.
You're stinky. Yeah. You just smell. You just go home.
Like it also just. I mean, I'm not like it just wouldn't sound good. Like I need a Gatorade or like some water.
Hey,
like
let's just have some bevs after we hoop.
Publicly, at the park.
Does anybody have cold bevies after you hoop?
I think it's illegal too.
It is illegal. That's open.
It's illegal.
That's
unless
open
it's in
container.
Nevada.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Vegas, don't call in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that one as well. The no flex zone is at least entertaining to me personally because Baby Styles just freezes.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, what a pro wants. That one is terrible. And what was the last one? The
one that didn't really bother us much.
Don't let me go.
Don't let me go.
It's just a little bit of a long commercial.
It's a long commercial.
It doesn't need to be that long.
Yeah, that's what. And I think we've been let down by the NBA not have. I guess it's usually ESPN that'll do it, but you remember like they'll make the supercuts of like the NBA playoffs, and like in the past they would have like Timber playing in the back of it. We need one of those. We need like a classic, iconic version of
I feel like, don't they have one going? Have they done it yet?
They do, but it's not iconic enough.
Or what do you guys think about? I know this has been a take that's circulated, but the whole playoff, like, playoff, blah, 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 isn't a thing. And then they don't include Jimmy.
That's also so there's an NBA playoff commercial where it's like, it's a thing. It's a thing, like playoffs. It's a thing.
It's a thing. And like, but they don't include Jimmy at the end of it. So I was like, wait, were you guys waiting for him? And they were playing it during the play-in tournament.
Right.
So I was waiting. I was like, maybe they're going to have the drop once he makes it to the playoffs and he'll end cap it.
Right.
And be like, oh, playoff Jimmy is a thing. And then I know now.
Did they stick with only locks?
It's Shea.
Who was a lock already in?
And
locked.
And somebody else, it's Tatum maybe or
something.
Tatum,
maybe they're
like,
we're just gonna. How long do we have to run this?
Denver, they have.
There's no other play-in team people. No other players.
It's also just like it's an interesting marketing thing because it's essentially saying like, yeah, we play harder in the playoffs. It's a thing,
right?
Like.
But they're dismissing it, and then the person who they are referring it to isn't even in the video.
Right.
I'm like, I'm taking crazy pills here. Where's Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, that is weird. That is
because it even is like playoff Ant. It's a thing. Playoff Shea.
No, they're
it's
saying it's not saying. They're saying it's not a thing. So I'm expecting the punchline
to be Jimmy. To be Jimmy. It is a thing.
They're all referring to him, and he's not even in it. So I'm like, you guys are talking about him, and it's not even showcasing him.
That is bizarre.
I'm getting so mad back here.
Yeah. Now Simone's ticked off. All right, when we return, second round matchups leading up to the new face of the NBA. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We will be joined by Matt George at 11:30. Highly anticipated. Matt George always brings the fire. That's at 11:30. You don't want to miss that. But if you do, it will be on YouTube and on SactownSports.com and on the Sactown Sports app. But hopefully you do not. But I know how work can be sometimes, and kids, and we get it. 916 on the text line. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. 916 says, no flex zone. I hate it because I repeat it for 5 minutes every time it airs.
They know better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It is.
It's a great song, but it's when you hear it 100 times in a day.
And that's what
stick.
What are the residuals on that? Or did Ray Schmerz just enjoying their life, already popping, and then Wingstop comes and says, we want to use your song from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Here's some more money. Is that how it works?
I believe so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that, they go to
I'm getting in the booth tonight.
You should. Absolutely.
I'm not changing
Triple down.
diapers.
Yeah.
I'm not changing diapers tonight.
No.
I'm getting in the booth.
Yeah. You're changing lives tonight.
Enough of this. This
Drake, this Kendrick. Nah.
No.
They ain't ready for A Sizzle.
They're not ready for A Sizzle.
Okay.
I try to tell you one too many times. And they're not ready, or maybe we're not ready for a changing of the guard.
Oh, man.
As for the first time since 2005, no LeBron, KD, or Steph in the second round of the playoffs. Since 2005. That's a long time ago.
A very, very long time ago.
That's a very long time ago.
Yeah. That
That is almost 20 years ago.
I was in grade school at that point.
That is almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously a lot of that heavy lifting is LeBron, but I think it is very symbolic of the changing of the guard, and that's something we've been talking about all season, right? Is the Warriors, the Lakers, even the Suns for a large period of the year were in the bottom half of the play-in situation, and you had all of these Minnesotas, the OKC, Denver absolutely being the new king up top. Like there were so many good Western Conference teams that were all young. It was a true sign of a changing of the guard. And I think, last year LeBron had his little run. Steph had his little final moment against Sacramento. All that was fine and dandy, but it was truly a swan song for what we saw this year. Yeah. Early elimination for all those guys.
You think they team up? I know we talked LeBron.
I can't stand it. I can't.
Do you think they do?
I can't get my brain there. I can't do it. I cannot.
But I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you, do you see it possible?
Anything is possible when you go to the Olympics, is what I would say. People have made crazy things happen. A lot of
back alley conversations.
Crazy things happen when they come back from the Olympics.
We're all part of the same miracle.
It's unfortunate, but we really are. And, I think I like I said, I don't want to even imagine that world existing, so I don't want to put it out there. But if they felt so inclined, I was thinking about it yesterday after I saw a Warrior fan make a I think it was actually Clutch Points, make a LeBron, KD, Steph graphic of them all on the Warriors. It could happen. It could. Like I could see the three of them saying exactly what I just said. You look at the top, it's all young people. Wouldn't it be fun for us to kind of spoil the party and show them the old guys still got it one last time and, have the story be here's this old guard that's still hanging on and trying to show the young kids that they still got some, this is what championships or this is what champions look like. I could see it. They're petty enough. They're absolutely, and they are hyper concerned about legacy as well. I think Steph is absolutely going to welcome it because it doesn't hurt Steph at all.
You're coming to me.
You're coming to me. Exactly. So if they win, Steph's going to get all the credit. He's not going to get any of the, he got to team up with these two. It's going to be LeBron went to go join Steph and KD had to crawl back home. So, it's a possibility, but those guys would have to, those two specifically, more so LeBron would have to swallow a lot of pride.
Yeah, the KD thing, I mean, I don't know what goes on in KD's mind at all, but as far as KD is concerned, I mean, you've gone to 2 teams since the Warriors. It would be a bit of crawling back. I just don't know how much KD actually cares.
I don't think he does.
And I don't even know if he'd have a say in it.
He didn't care the first time. So why the hell would he care the second time?
Right. He's just old. All he is just older now and cares less about anything.
Yeah. And there's more of a reason to actually.
There's more of a reason. The Suns maybe the Suns get a Kuminga, right? Somebody like that.
You give him Kuminga, you give him Pods, you give him Trace Jackson. I don't care.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the Suns, hey, we're just gonna reset and give Devin Booker a chance to, Devin Booker and whatever's left of Bradley Beal a chance to just make this thing work. These guys aren't lasting more than 2 years. So if they win 2 more rings, cool.
So be it.
Whatever. And then you have, so the KD thing, I could see. The LeBron thing, logistically, team or family set up in LA.
Yeah.
It's a quick flight on a PJ to get back and forward for Bryce's games and things like that. There's more pride to be had, but I think this could be Bron's kind of finger to the world because everybody has always looked down upon his accomplishments anyway.
Yeah.
So he could just say, you know what? You guys were never going to give me my just due.
Right.
So we're just going to stack these rings. I'm going to get to Michael and you can say whatever you want because you were going to say it anyway from when I did stuff, when I did what I did with the Heat, he really doesn't even get that much slander for the Cavs thing because of KD.
Yeah.
He should be thanking KD for going to the Warriors because he gets no slander for Kyrie and Kevin Love because that was a super team.
Sure.
And didn't really get any slander for the Lakers situation. The reason LeBron gets slander is because of how I guess hands-on he is with these moves, and then after the moves don't work, there's a scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
But I think at that point you have 2 guys that just simply don't care.
Yeah.
And then you have Steph that doesn't really care either and just wants to win at his core.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
I mean, again, it's definitely the best course of action for all of them because right now they're all fighting individual battles and they could come together in Paris this summer and say, why are we trying to fight separately when if we come together, like that's really our best opportunity to get through this.
Logistically, it might be
because
who else is who else? What
LeBron's
other
run into
stars?
this Jokic wall one too many times already.
Yeah.
Steph, I think, understands. He's looked around at his situation in the past, I guess, since they won the title, really, and says, I don't think the current Warriors crop is going to do him much good. And KD, that story's pretty much already written. Like, it makes a lot of sense. It's just, I don't know if LeBron will do it. I could see KD accepting to do it. Again, he's already been there. He's already been through the worst of it. What's it going to be a second time where it makes more sense for him to do it this time? Mm-hmm. LeBron is the one where it is almost doing the KD thing. Like the Warriors were his biggest rival. And then I know it's a couple years removed, but to go to Golden State to go play there and help them win, I don't think he would care, but it's a lot of pride. That's a lot of pride. He took a lot of trash from those Warrior fans. And I think that there's pretty much no love lost there. Like, I think that those two groups don't like each other. And LeBron would have to swallow his pride to win a ring. And he might be willing to do that because at the end of the day, the legacy is all that matters. I don't know how many people are really going to talk about LeBron's last 2 years in the league when talking about the totality of it. But I think he's just too proud. I think he's going to go to a situation where he's going to be the sun. I mean, he literally only cares about being at the center of this thing.
If you add, and who knows what's going to happen with the Mavericks? They could get pretty far down and pretty deep into the playoffs, and they want to stay together. But if you add, fine, take away D'Lo and add Kyrie to the Lakers. Are they beating the Nuggets now?
I think they would believe that they would be closer. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But I think they believe that this series would probably be
2-2 right now.
Probably 2, or I guess 3-2.
3-2.
It'd probably be 3-2 is what they would believe.
Going back to LA.
Yeah. That would probably be enough to convince them. And there's already rumor, like literally I woke up this morning and saw an Athletic report saying the Lakers are going to be one of the teams that are very in on Trae Young. So they're already talking about how they're getting the next guy in there. I agree.
That's not doing it. And I actually like Trae Young, but that is not moving me at all. Well, you know who always moves me? That is Matt George, and he will join us when we return of Locked On Kings and ABC 10. Do not go anywhere. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey there, wanted to take a moment of your time so I could talk to you about insecurity. I could talk to you about confidence. I could talk to you about girth. Yeah, what? Girth? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you about the Upsize Clinic at UpsizeMatters.com. My good friend, Dr. Jack, and his friend, Dr. Pash in San Francisco, have a safe, effective, long-lasting doctor-performed procedure. It's non-surgical, virtually pain-free. Now listen, girth is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. What Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash are offering is a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation and get that confidence back. Reset in the bedroom with your partner. Financing is available. It's very private. It's very discreet. Available in Roseville with Dr. Jack and San Francisco with Dr. Pash at UpsizeMatters.com. That's UpsizeMatters.com.
Maida Chevy saves you $10,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado, LT, RST, and LTZ in stock after rebate. Over 50 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details. M4324. My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that help me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time with the community you love, visit NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard, aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass. Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course. Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit SACLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
The PGA Club Fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Look. Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Don't need Luka Doncic. And I'd like to apologize for absolutely nothing. Double tap, baby, I'm a double tap.
There he is, Matt George, ABC 10, Locked On Kings, our guy. George, thank you so much, good sir, for joining us.
I hate this show. This show sucks.
This was not me, by the way, or Chris.
100% came from one of the two of you. I don't believe this came from.
No. I will say there was a Verlaud maybe in this room with me a few moments ago. It's Simone back here behind
There
me.
you go, Matt. You know, we would never. Matt, thank you so much for joining us and all that you do for Kings Media, keeping everybody in the loop, keeping everybody juiced up. Matt, let's start here. It's been a couple weeks now. You've seen other teams play. You've seen other teams get eliminated. That 6 to 8 range, as far as the playoff seeding is concerned, has not done well. Give us your breakdown after a couple weeks removed from the Kings being done, of the Kings, whether you view the season a success, a failure. What are your thoughts on the season now that the wound has been healed a little bit?
Well, first and foremost, guys, it's a pleasure to finally come on the show. I've followed you guys forever. I love you guys so much, even though that introduction, I'm able to look past that because of the love that I have for you. And so we bonded over the Traders TV show. So you can't be doing
and Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry.
No, you can't be doing that to me. We got to have a conversation.
That's right.
Verlaud, I expect that from you.
Exactly.
Anyway. First of all, like, matchups are wild in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Like, the fact that the Kings can sweep the Lakers and the Lakers can be the nemesis of the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Pelicans beat the Kings 6 times but get swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I 100% believe, and this is not just sour grapes and revisionist history, like this series would still be happening and still be going on right now if it were Kings Thunder. I'm not going to go as far as to say the Kings would have a lead or anything like that. The Kings would have gotten at least a game in this series because Sacramento has matched up and played well against OKC many, many times over the course of this season. So matchups are wild, and it goes back to the kind of the blueprint of what is the kryptonite for the Sacramento Kings. It's teams that are loaded with length and athleticism and wing defenders. And that's what Monty has to kind of address and deal with this summer. Going back to your question, Alan, there's no way I consider this season a failure because there was growth in many areas. The defense truly got significantly better, especially there towards the end of the season. I think Mike figured some things out with his 3-guard lineups. It's definitely not a failure either with the season that Domantas Sabonis had, the growth of Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis breaking out. There's so much good that happened this year with a Western Conference that was just absolutely brutal. That being said, it's absolutely a disappointing year, right? Like, everybody's disappointed to go from the 3rd seed to out of the playoffs. And like, I understand the West and the strength of the West, and you only lost 2 more games than last year, but you still lost 2 more games. You still took a step backwards. And the reality is that's your conference. You want to compete with that conference, and you didn't, unfortunately. And now, like, nobody feels sorry for you. You got to get to work. And Monty said it himself in his end of season press conference. This team is built to win right now. You need to keep building because they're not capable of winning right now to the level that they expect, I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, you talked a lot about the growth of this team. I mean, yeah, Keegan's defense and obviously the emergence of Keon for sure were major bright spots from this season. But going into this offseason, and I guess just for this question, assume that Malik Monk is coming back. What do you think are the biggest spots of growth that you think this team needs to address this offseason?
I mean, I think, again, it goes back to just having more bodies that I think fit what the Kings are trying to do. Like one of the reasons why defensively Sacramento struggled for so long this season, guys, is like they just got torched from the perimeter all season
all year
long. And a lot of that I don't think is necessarily that this team was loaded with bad defenders, because we saw towards the end of the year that there are defenders on this team. I think it has everything to do with size, right? Closing out is one thing, but if you're a 6'9" dude closing out versus a 6'4" guy closing out, those I was going to say something that's a pause moment, so I'm going to catch myself there. That makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I think getting just more bodies and more like lengthy athletic defenders that can hopefully also space the floor, that's a big difference. The only problem is, guys, every team in the league wants those players because they're some of the most valuable pieces in the NBA. So Monty has to work the trade market. I have very little faith in free agency. I don't think that a 13th pick, it could be something good, but I don't think this team needs a rookie right now. They need win now talent. So Monty's got to work his magic in the trade market. And that's where, like, I asked Monty at the end of season press conference, like, does he have any regrets about the trade deadline? He was very transparent. He said the way things played out, like, no regrets. I like our process. It just didn't work out. We know that they were trying to make moves. They were interested in Pascal Siakam. That fell through. OG Anunoby, we've heard for a while, that fell through. I get not wanting to make a move that handicaps your organization, but you no longer have a passive we tried and nothing happened at this point. Like, you're going to get judged on what you do or don't do. And at this point, you need to start doing some things in the trade market. That's what I'm looking at this offseason.
Yeah, Matt, actually and we're talking to Matt George, Locked On Kings and ABC 10. You know him, you love him. Yeah, Matt, last week during the exit interviews, we actually were defending a lot of media members, and we were using your question because we had listeners saying, they should have been harder on Monty. They should have been harder on Mike Brown. I said, hold on. Oh, this last one was this one was a doozy. And you made Monty in a situation where a lot of times GMs, not just Monty McNair, will kind of skate around the subject, and you ask him straight up and he answered. Now, whether people want to believe him or not, that's their prerogative, but you asked him the question. I want to ask you a question, Matt, that, I mean, I wouldn't call it uncomfortable, but it is what it is, and these guys are continuing to improve. When it comes to De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, compared to some of the other star power, we're watching Anthony. I saw the freezing cold take, but we'll let you go for now because I was right there with you. But we saw the Anthony Edwards situation, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and his blow up right now. Where do you put De'Aaron Fox in the group of franchise players? And do you believe that he can be the Kings franchise player and they win a championship with him being that?
Well, the reality is Fox is a tier below, but he has the capability of being on the same tier, especially with Shai. Like, I see what Shai does, and I think, why can't De'Aaron Fox do that? He passed Shai this year. Technically, I guess they tied in steals per game, but Fox got the edge because of some statistical you-know-what. But, like, Fox has shown he can be the defender that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. He doesn't necessarily have the size. One thing that Shai does that maybe Fox needs to learn a thing or two is Shai knows how to kind of foul bait a little bit. Like, throw
Whip that head.
Like, you guys have talked about too, like maybe fall to the ground a little bit more, like sell it a little bit. And I know that's not necessarily Fox's game, but De'Aaron Fox deserves to get to the line a whole heck of a lot more than he does. And a lot of that also kind of comes from the gamemanship and playing the refs a little bit. Now, that being said, I do not put Shai on the same level that I put like a Luka or a James Harden or guys like that. Same thing with Jalen Brunson. Like, Jalen Brunson is really, really good at drawing fouls, but he's not a foul merchant, a foul baiter. He doesn't need to get fouled in order to score like some of these other players do.
Sure.
And I don't mean that as a knock. Like, that's how they play. You know who was really, really good at that here in Sacramento back in the day? Remember how good Kevin Martin was at drawing fouls?
Oh, yeah.
He was a foul merchant. And that was one of the skills that he had. It wasn't, I'm not saying it to knock on him. It's just he understood how to get to the line. That's something that I think is holding De'Aaron back from the Shai level. But I also think, guys, like it's not a coincidence that in De'Aaron Fox's playoff debut last year, he had one of the highest scoring debuts in NBA history. I think it's towards the top, if not at
second.
The top.
Yeah, I think it was second all time.
So, like, De'Aaron's capable of being that guy on that stage. And we've been saying that for years. And he showed it to some extent against the Warriors in the play-in. I know the play-in against the Pelicans was a different story, but the entire Kings team as a whole, it just could not figure that Pelicans team out. So that's kind of an outlier to me. But Anthony Edwards is on a different level. And I 100% wear what I said, because I had at the time on my podcast draft experts telling me, like, there's real legitimate concerns with Ant about how much he loves the game, how
I remember
the game. There was a story that is widely talked about of how Ant worked out with the Warriors, and Steve Kerr told him, you're not working hard enough, and how that helped wake Ant up. So there were legitimate concerns about him. That being said, my take is 100% dead wrong, because not only is Ant Edwards fantastic, I think Ant Edwards is the face of the league. I think Ant Edwards is everything you could possibly want in a star if you're the NBA, the guy who's going to carry the torch when LeBron James is done. And guys, I also don't think it's a coincidence that you got Shea and Ant at the top doing what they're doing, even Jamal Murray to some extent. And you have LeBron and KD and these guys that are getting eliminated in the first round, right? The NBA's moving on. And the good news is the Kings are closer to the Ant Shea group than they are the LeBron Steph group.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely, Matt. That's a fantastic point. And I don't think that's really talked about enough, is the Kings are still part of this young group of teams. They're probably, like you said with De'Aaron, there's tiers to it, but the Kings are still right there when it comes to being these young teams that are on the rise and potentially in the future of this league. And a big part of them making that leap to the next tier is them potentially going this offseason and making a big splash or a significant splash to the rotation. And I see a report from Evan Sittery this morning saying the Jazz and the Pelicans are two teams that are expected to be aggressive this offseason in the trade market. Utah has 15 first-round picks over the next 5 years. New Orleans is saying that they're going to be dangling Brandon Ingram, which is a guy that we've been tossing back and forth to see if he would fit the Kings. But my question to you, Matt, is, do you realistically believe that the Kings are in a position to where if there are multiple suitors for a certain star, can the Kings realistically compete with some of those big offers? Now, of course, Utah and OKC have tons of first-round picks that they can throw, but can the Kings at least be competitive in those conversations?
Competitive, yes. Do they have an edge? No, because of the draft pick situation. And that's one of the casualties of missing the playoffs too, is you own what is likely going to be the 13th pick. We have to pay attention to the draft lottery, guys. This sucks. And the draft lottery is coming up here in a little bit. So we have to pay attention to that this year. Kings are more than likely going to end up with 13th, which they beat the Warriors in a tiebreaker. So take that, Golden State.
Back to back.
Dynasty crumbles twice. Sorry, Alan. Sorry to talk bad about your team. Anyway. Gold-blooded. My guy's gold-blooded. To me, I think the Kings can absolutely contend in these big trade market situations. I think they will be involved in star conversations, but I also don't 100% believe that Monty feels like they have to, right? There are some teams that are out there like, we need another star. And I think Sacramento would love to have another star, but they're looking at this season and how close they were. And Mike firmly believes, and I agree with him, like the Kings could have won 50, 51, 52 games this season. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but they absolutely could have. How many blown leads they had, losing to bad teams, right? Health and injuries and stuff like that. No one feels sorry for you again, but I don't think the Kings feel that they're a star away from getting to where they want to be. I think it's just getting the right role pieces and consistency. I don't know if that's the right approach to have, but that's the vibe that I get with this team, that they feel like maybe – I'm throwing a name out there. I don't think it's realistic necessarily, but like they're a Herb Jones type piece, or like a wing like that away from truly making the noise that they want to make, assuming they're able to stay healthy and they're able to get a little more consistency out of their offense.
Matt, I got to be honest with you. I hope you're wrong, because that is not how close they are, because all the teams down there are saying the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. All right, don't go anywhere. Matt George, you don't go anywhere either. We're coming back with more Matt George when we return of Locked On Kings and ABC 10. Great stuff, and we're going to continue. Stiles and Watkins with Matt George, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with insulation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We are joined by Matt George of Locked On Kings and ABC 10. Matt, we were asking this question before we get back into the Kings talk. And you gotta be honest here, Matt. I know you're honest, Abe, so I don't have to worry about that. So when we're at these games and Matt is a celebrity and people keep coming up to Matt George, my guy, saying what's up. Do you, on Locked On Kings, do you tell people where you're seated? Or is there a Matt metal detector? What's going on here?
Okay.
Because I'm jealous. That's what I'm saying. I'm jealous.
First off, Frankie Cardicelli gets more freaking people back there than anybody else because
it's a big point of conversation.
That's 90, family, though.
It doesn't matter. His 90 family. It's like Thanksgiving at the Kings game every time. Way to flex the money that you got, all coming for those parking passes.
That's right.
Yes, I do tell people top of section 105 to come by, but my loyal listeners know that. I see them all the time. I appreciate them. And I tell them to come by and meet Alan Stiles, and they're like, that Warriors fan? I don't want to meet.
Okay. All right. Chris, ask another question, please.
Matt, all right. I'll ask you this. I mean, just in general, not to bring the mood down or anything, but just right now, and I mean, maybe it's changed since the end of the season or since the exit interviews, but just what's your you can gauge it however you want. Confidence meter, percentage. How are you feeling about the chances of the Kings keeping or retaining Malik Monk?
God. So I had a conversation with Philip Rossman-Reich. He's the host of the Locked On Magic podcast, and actually gave me a little bit of hope, because one thing he confirmed right away is that Malik is a name that's been talked about in Orlando amongst fans and amongst media for months. And I think even Katie Christensen has confirmed it to some extent. Katie was sharing with us at some point this year while we were in the press conference room waiting for Mike to come out. Like, she's had report. I think she said this on the broadcast too. She's had media members in Orlando come up to her and go like, what about Malik? What about is this Malik? Like, so there's definitely interest in Malik in Orlando, and the Magic to me have always been the #1 contender to snatch him away. That being said, Philip did say that, like, one of the things he said was that he doesn't think the Magic would feel comfortable giving Malik Monk more money than they're willing to re-sign Jalen Suggs for down the road, because they believe Suggs is more of their guy than Monk would be. So he thinks it would be in the low 20s area. Now, I think, to me, the number is $22 million. If the Magic put $22 million on the table for Malik, I think he'd be a fool to say no, because he's going to start for a playoff team that's on the up and up, a young, exciting team. He could have an excellent two-man game with Paolo Banchero. They need shooting, which Malik can provide. So I think Orlando makes a lot of sense. If they put $22 million or more on the table, I'm Malik. Right. I'm like, I love you, Sacramento. Peace out. I got to go.
Because that's like $5 million more than what the Kings can offer.
Right. But if they come at the table with $20 million, even though there's no state income tax, and $20 million goes a little bit further in Orlando than it does in Sacramento because of California. Thanks, California. I think Malik still heavily considers staying with Sacramento. And then same thing with like San Antonio. If a San Antonio comes through and throws a bag at Malik, that might be a little harder for him to say yes to. I like playing with Popovich. Does Pop let him kind of play with the freedom and antics and chaos that Malik brings? And I know the 2-man game with Wembanyama would be amazing to watch, but that Spurs team is a long ways away in the West of making any legitimate noise, even with Wemby. So I'm not even fence sitting when I say it goes back and forth 50-50, 60-40, sometimes one way or another. I think Malik genuinely would love for it to work out here in Sacramento, but I don't think his value is ever going to be higher than it is right now. His NBA journey has been so rocky that if he wants to chase the bag, I don't think anybody in the organization would blame him. So I can't blame him either.
Talking to Matt George, Locked On Kings and ABC 10. Matt, when we talk about making these moves in the offseason and trades, things like that, you said you're not very high on the free agency just based on the history of free agency in Sacramento. Well, that means that trades are going to be incredibly important. So a name that has to come up, that nobody wants to come up, but if you want to go get a big fish, and Chris's outstanding big fish list is still percolating around social media, how do you value Keegan Murray and how untouchable he is in these trade talks?
One of the things you said, Alan, you've said it on social media and said it on the show, and you're 100% spot on, is that when you're a ninth seed, there's nobody untouchable on your roster. That being said, realistically, like you're not really getting a trade for Fox and Sabonis that is probably going to make you better, because anybody that's trying to acquire him is throwing a bunch of picks at you. At that point, you're doing a rebuild. There's no star swap happening. It's not. It's pretty rare to get the trades like we got with the Sabonis Halliburton thing, and even that took a really exciting young player to get a veteran all-star. So that's where the Keegan Murray thing comes in, right? You want to go get a veteran star. Keegan Murray is going to be the first guy that everybody asks for. But y'all, there's a reason for that. It's because Keegan is, like we just talked about in last segment, Keegan is the exact type player that the Kings need more of. A lengthy, athletic, floor spacing, two-way wing. So if you're getting rid of that, or even a Harrison Barnes to some extent, this is one of the reasons why I think the Kings are hesitant to trade a Harrison Barnes, is because replacing that type of player is difficult for this organization. And I think, like Chris, I know you remember this. Kings fans will understand this too. Before Harrison Barnes, that position has been horrible for Sacramento to fill. I mean, they had Rudy Gay for a while. That was great. They had Ron Artest. In between that, like there's a reason why we make John Salmon's jokes.
Travis Outlaw.
Andres Nocioni, Dante Green. And I love that guy, but these are the type of wings that Sacramento has been able to develop and or attract here. That position is a massive weakness for him. Keegan is exactly what the Kings want more of. So I think there's almost always going to be a hesitancy or a no. Like I know PG is a guy. Paul George is a guy you've talked a lot about, Alan. I think the Kings don't hesitate in saying no and including Keegan Murray in any kind of Paul George deal if that came up in the future. I think Paul George is a free agent though, so that's a little bit different, right? So regardless, Keegan's not untouchable. I just don't see a realistic deal where the Kings ever moving on from him. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Matt, you just kind of hinted at Harrison Barnes there and what his fit with this team is, even if at times it's been frustrating. But what do you think about the future of Harrison Barnes and his fit with this team? I think clearly when we look at upgrades for the starting lineup, I think not just Harrison, but Kevin Huerter's name is absolutely brought up as the clear 2 spots of improvement. But you kind of mentioned it there. Like you can't just lose or leave a guy like Harrison to another team and not replace some of the things he does. What do you think of Harrison's role moving forward with this team? We talked a lot about just his situation yesterday. He's making $18 million, which is a lot for a bench player, but not insane to bring off the bench. What do you think about Harrison's future here in Sacramento and if they try and make an improvement at that spot?
Guys, this is pure gut feeling. I don't have any inside sources telling me this, but I personally, just based off of reading the tea leaves, Mike Brown's rotations over the course of this year, I would be shocked if Harrison is gone. I would be even more shocked if Kevin Huerter's still here. I think I would put a lot of money down on betting that Harrison Barnes is still a member of the Kings next season come training camp and Kevin Huerter's gone. And I think that just has everything to do with what Mike is trying to do and what the Kings need more of. And that's not to say Kevin Huerter sucks and get him out of here or anything like that, because the Kings desperately could have used Kevin Huerter down the stretch, even with his ups and downs and his struggles. But I think Mike, sometimes actions speak louder than words, right? And Mike is never going to throw anybody under the bus, and he's always going to encourage his guys. But Mike's actions suggest that Kevin Huerter was on the outs. Right. Now, the good thing in both Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes is both of them are on very good contracts. Like, Harrison's contract is very tradable. Kevin Huerter's contract is very tradable. So 2 very valuable contracts. But the problem is, how do you trade either of those guys for an upgrade? Like, it's very difficult to get a better player in a deal where you're shipping out Harrison or Kevin, unless you're attaching a bunch of draft picks to it, which is like how you would get a Mikal Bridges deal done, which I think, Chris, you put out a list yesterday of just targets, and Bridges was number 1 for you. I'm in the same boat. Like, that's a position where, and maybe Jordi Fernandez can help us with a little sleep rage over there. But like, that's one of those players that I wouldn't mind putting Kevin Huerter, maybe even a Davion Mitchell, although my tune has changed on Davion a lot based off how the season ended. But throw him in there to sweeten up the pot, and throw 2 or 3, as many first-round picks as realistically you can within reason to go out and get a guy like that. Like, that's the Hail Mary chance that I think the Kings have in terms of trying to land a big star.
Matt, this has been outstanding. We will continue to do this throughout the offseason and going into next season. Matt George, you know him, you love him. ABC 10, Locked On Kings. Matt, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be sure to subscribe and listen to Matt on Locked On Kings, and check him out on ABC 10. Thank you so much, Matt.
Hey, next time you have me on, play me in with some of that new Jack.
We will see what we can do. Thank you, Matt George. Thank you to our listeners. All right, when we return, continuing the conversation, reacting to everything Matt had to say. Harrison stays, Huerter leaves, and so on and so forth. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Cool moms love the lounge. Show your appreciation this Mother's Day by treating your mom to specials on some of our favorites all day long. Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around postgame every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I'm surprised at how many players wait too long to have their golf clubs regripped. I'll pick up my playing partner's clubs when they're left near the green, and that's when I notice that some of the problems in their games could be attributed to worn golf grips. If yours are shiny or worn when you play, you're probably gripping the club too strongly for fear of losing it during a swing. The golf grip is your connection to the club, and fresh grips let you hold the club lightly, promoting proper swing mechanics and swing action. Many of us simply replace the grips with the same product that was on the club, but with so many different types of materials, colors, tackiness, softness, and more, you'll find plenty of sizes and colors to fit your game and your personality. Your local pro shop or club fitter can re-grip your clubs, or you can purchase a kit and do it yourself. Either way, re-gripping once a year is an inexpensive and fast way to bring a noticeable change to your game and to give your clubs that new club feel. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
In the midday, it's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Thank you once again to the one and only, the incomparable Matt George of ABC 10 and Locked On Kings. A little bit of jabs here and there, but that's what it's all about. Thank you, Matt George. And we will definitely do that again very soon and very often during the offseason and going in to next season. Chris, I have some notes here from what Matt said, and some of them really did surprise me. By the way, we will be joined by our guy, Amil Fragoso, one of the hardest working members of Niners media. That is at 1 p.m. to talk all things Niners draft, and we will be discussing his draft reviews that just dropped on SactownSports.com. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to do so. Very in-depth. It has their ceiling, their comp, their floor, all that jazz.
Even did a grade.
And a grade as well. So we will go over some of the top tier guys and then some of the Brock Purdy's of the world who went a little bit later in the draft. Chris, before we get into some of the stuff that Matt had to say, a couple of things are coming through on the text line, 916-339-1140. We are opening up the phone lines as well, reactions to what Matt George had to say. And if you have any Kings talk, be sure to chime in. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. 2, I want to read here, Chris. And before we get into these, I was going to say our own Joe Jaros, who is no longer an employee or a coworker, but he's just a loyal listener.
That's right.
He put in one going back to the commercial conversation, the Whopper.
Oh my God.
But we know that's the worst.
Terrible.
We know that's the worst. Thank you, Joe.
Yes,
but we all know that one
that takes the cake.
One is by far the worst. All right, first from the 916, if the season starts with Harrison Barnes in the starting lineup next year, I will never watch a Kings game for the rest of my life. I don't know if that's true.
Sorry,
916.
did I send that? I didn't mean to send that.
Yes, I think that would have been Chris's burner. And Chris, you can just call into the show or just speak as well.
Just speak. Sorry, my bad.
So that's from the 916, and that is going to what Matt George had to say. And Matt dropped some heaters towards the end of the segment, talking about how he is more. If he had to choose or if he had to guess, Harrison Barnes will be on the roster. And the idea isn't that both of them would be gone unless you can really get a big fish, but he thinks Harrison Barnes will probably be on the roster and Kevin Huerter won't be. And I don't know if that's more so that it's more likely that Harrison Barnes is, I guess the question is it more likely that Harrison Barnes will be on this team than neither of them being on the team? I think we would all agree Harrison Barnes is more likely than Kevin Huerter. But is it more likely that Harrison Barnes will be on the team than neither of them being on the team?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends on what you think they're going to do, because if you don't think they're going to make a big move, then you would probably agree with Matt and say if they are going to make a move, it'll be a lesser one, i.e. Kevin Huerter's lesser contract. It's only $3 million, but $3 million is a full player. So
right.
If you're looking to make a big move, they're probably going to package them together because their salaries pretty much equal the $30 million that'll get you just about any star. And I would think if you want to get anybody who is even like an upgrade, I mean, if the Kings want to revisit Jeremy Grant conversations or Kyle Kuzma conversations, those feel like guys where I would assume Harrison would be the one that would be thrown out just because he's a similar position and because his contract just makes you reach their number a little bit easier. I really don't have any gauge on which one I feel like is more likely to come back, but I would agree that I would say it's very unlikely that both come back. I would think that one of them is probably going to be the feels terrible using this, but like the sacrificial lamb for this offseason. And, I mean, I still believe I'm on your side. You've got your bet of the Carolina Reaper if they don't make a big move.
Yeah.
I'm more so on your side than on Matt's, but I could also see where Matt's coming from, like him saying essentially they don't want to make a big move. Like
that's crazy though.
If you look at the last two really big all-in moves that were made, it's not, because the Rudy Gobert trade, while it has worked out this season, Minnesota did not look good last year, and the Bradley Beal trade did not work out for them at all. So you just, if you're going to be all in on somebody, you have to make sure it's the right guy. And I don't know if this Kings organization, frankly, is willing to risk it all. I think that they would, again, a truth serum conversation. I think they would rather have sustained success over trying to peak early and live with the ramifications of it.
Well, and that becomes a question, right? And we had the same question when we talk about the Niners.
Yes,
obviously, Jed York wants to win a
Super
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but going to the NFC Championship every other year is pretty darn good for business.
Not bad, huh?
Going to the Super Bowl once every 2-3 years is pretty good for business.
It'll keep some jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're the Kings after 16 years of no playoffs, are you willing to blow something up to try to get to the promised land? Or you can't tell the fans this, or is it okay, or do you find it okay to be a second round? We've said nobody wants to be the Vikings. No offense.
None taken.
Nobody wants to be the Vikings. Nobody wants to be the Zebo Grizzlies, right?
Yeah, sure.
But maybe some people do.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a matter of, hey, we got a good little squad here. Maybe De'Aaron Fox, because a lot of this is, can you hit? Hey, we're not going to blow this thing up. We're going to continue to float around that 3 to 6 seed, hopefully. And maybe De'Aaron Fox takes it to a next level. We know what we're going to get from Sabonis. And maybe we hit with Keegan Murray. And we're not going to blow this thing up and take any chances and then have it blow up in our face. And then have fans saying, well, now we're missing the playoffs again. The problem is you miss the playoffs of the season.
Sure.
So if you lose Malik Monk, I think you have to relook at everything, because the only way that's cool is if you are actually making the playoffs. I would say if you are a 5 to 6 seed every season, I think that Kings fans would probably be annoyed going into year number 3, 4, 5. You can't have this. You can't count this season as a success. So that's this whole idea of what I just said. It didn't even count this season because you didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. No, I mean, and to go back to your, no one wants to be the Vikings or no one wants to be the Grizzlies, but some do. It's kind of a dirty secret that I don't think we're revealing anything, but like, the Kings, they didn't win a championship in the early 2000s. We still remember that team pretty fondly. Yeah. And I think a lot of people would take that run over what we've seen here recently. I mean, I do think that there is value in being a really, really good team and maybe not a team that can win it all. And definitely it was no fault of that team that they didn't win it. But you're right. Like, there is, from an organizational standpoint, being the Niners is not a bad thing. A lot of people will aspire to be in a situation like the Niners. And, especially in basketball, just keeping your name relevant and staying in the conversation.
Look at Tomlin.
Can do you wonders.
Look at Tomlin.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know how much Steeler fans are still happy that Tomlin just always has a winning record.
Right.
But that lasted a really long time. Yeah, he did win a couple rings, but that was a long time ago. Beams or Beamley on Sack Chat is saying, Styles, are you saying a Grizzlies trade? No, what I reference is when they had the Grindhouse Grizzlies, the grit and grind Grizzlies, when they basically would go to the second round or sometimes they would be in the playoffs every season, but nobody thought they were going to win it all, and they never won it all.
But they were there for what, 6 years or something like that? Yeah.
It felt like between 4 and 6 years.
They had multiple coaches. Yeah, it was through Dave Yeager. It was through, I think Alvin actually had some time in there. I think they had Fizdale as well. Like, they were a really good team, and they had a lot of memories. Like, they had Tony Allen, first team All-D. They had the year that they made the conference finals, and they thought they were going to win. Like, it's sports is selling hope sometimes, and I think that's what a lot of that is. Obviously, the goal is always going to be to win a championship, but sometimes you have to even be in the conversation at first to get to the point where you are at a champion, because not everyone can just draft a generational talent and build them from within and win a champion. Sometimes you've got to put yourself in a situation to win. You'll be that 4 or 5 seed for 2 or 3 years. And then who knows? You literally never know. A star could just look at that situation and say, where I would fit in really well, and I think I could take that situation over the top. It could be Sacramento. Like, I think that's really the hope. If you can't get a championship team, you have to, at the very least, have a Noah's Ark or a kind of approach of, or I guess not Noah's Ark, but it would be what's the movie Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come, right? Like, and you have to think of that with the Sacramento Kings sometimes. Of, look, like, the best you can do sometimes is build out or maximize the potential of your roster, and then sometimes it is just kind of a hope and a waiting game of maybe a star wants to join our situation.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. The problem is in the Western Conference, there's just no other teams in that situation. Up and down the conference are teams that have essentially gone all in a way and would not be okay with just chilling.
Yes.
They would be the only just chilling. It's not the Thunder. No. They're ahead of schedule now. Not the Nuggets, not the T-Wolves, not the Clippers, not the Mavericks, not the Suns, not the Lakers. I guess it's the Pelicans, really. It's the Pelicans and the Kings are the two just chilling teams with the fan bases that would probably be okay with it. Eastern Conference is a different question. If you gave the Pacers true serum, I'm sure they want to win, but you got Siakam, you got Halliburton, you got Miles Turner. If you continue to lose, however far they get, if you continue to lose to the Celtics and the Bucks when they're healthy, I think 4 or 5 years. Then you got 4 or 5 years before the fans say, "What the heck?"
Exactly, and then you pivot. Only one team can win a championship every year.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Matt, not Matt George, a different Matt who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Matt? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. Love the show. I just wanted to say, talking about sustainability, getting to the playoffs every year. This city is not looking for that. This city wants a championship. Thought we should have had a championship in 2002. Still hungry for that. I talked to Kings fans, friends, like they're not happy with the season. I'm telling them, relax. It's a 5-year plan. Nobody's happy with it. They want winning success now. You look at like Cleveland, Milwaukee, even Golden State. I know they're not a small market, but they were in peril for like 40 years before they became a dynasty. And it's possible in small markets. I know that the Kings fans want it. The city wants it. So, yeah, I don't think anybody here is happy with just chilling and sustainability. Also wanted to know, the Suns are in big trouble. They don't have draft picks. What do we think about sending our future their way for Kevin Durant and replacing Harrison Barnes with Kevin Durant yet again? Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Matt. Yeah, we chatted a little. We will be talking about it a lot throughout the offseason. But, yeah, we spoke about it a little bit on yesterday's show about KD and whatever. Look, if it's they're different packages. If it's Herter, get some shooting out there. I know they got Grayson Allen, but whatever first that they need, I don't know that they would say Keegan or no, because Kevin Durant is 36. He is older.
Sure.
So whatever package you can cook up without Keegan, I'm with it.
I just don't think the Kings win that negotiation, though. I just think that there's teams out there that would absolutely beat that deal. If the Kings are going to get a deal done for Kevin Durant and Keegan's not going to be involved, I guarantee Utah, I guarantee whoever, like, people can beat that trade 1,000%. So I just don't know how realistic it would be to get it done without Keegan. I just feel like you've got to sack. I mean, I don't even think it would be.
We did this yesterday. You would not.
I don't think I would, but these are the conversations that you have to be willing to have if you want to be willing. I mean, that's a 2-part call right there. If you truly want to be in the championship conversation, if you don't want to flounder about and do all that, then you have to be willing to take risks. And part of being willing to take risks is moving on from young players that you really, really like and are really, really hopeful for in exchange for a ready-made player. And I wouldn't think that that's the strategy that the Kings would want to go for, because that's just putting all of your eggs in this basket. And I just don't think that I don't think that's the right way for this organization to go. So, and you know, he mentioned the caller did the 3 situations that he said won a championship and figured it out after years of not being able to. Cleveland, LeBron James. Golden State, Steph Curry. Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have to draft these generational talents if you want to get them. If not, if you want to get them otherwise, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot to get those guys in your building. It doesn't matter if Kevin Durant's 36 or if LeBron's 39. All those guys are going to have a hefty, hefty cost.
There is a cost to everything. All right, when we return, Matt said something that sparked something with both of us, and it's really about what fans deserve after years of stinking. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, Chris, this is on the same wavelength of what you just said from the 916. Why are we pretending like the Denver Nuggets is replicable by anybody else? Landing Jokic was the equivalent of winning a $1 billion Powerball jackpot. It just doesn't happen.
Yes.
Well, that's correct, but also Chris just named off, or excuse me, Matt did, and then we talked about it. You named off three others, right? Steph, LeBron, and Steph, LeBron, and Giannis. Now, the Giannis one is probably a better comp because Giannis, if I'm not mistaken, was 13th or 14th?
Yes, 14th.
The other two, I mean, Steph, you had the T-Wolves who –
Whoops.
The T-Wolves, they passed on Steph twice, okay, and took two guards.
Look, I love Johnny Flynn.
And we all love Johnny Flynn.
Come on.
But not the right move there, and then LeBron is LeBron.
Right.
There are a couple of things at work here. Part of this is the problem with the chillin' is that you don't want to be in purgatory.
Sure.
And that is where essentially the Raiders have kind of been. The Raiders, they've never really stunk as actually, they kind of have stunk as bad as the Kings.
Yes.
But they haven't stunk bad enough. In a sport where there's no lottery, all you got to do is stink and you'll get the first pick. But the Raiders refuse, and they continue to win 7 games, 8 games, and be stuck with the 13th pick or whatever it is. By the way, they were going to take Penix. That was a report, and Penix got taken by the Falcons. So you don't want to be there, all right? And that is the problem with that from a fan standpoint. But honestly speaking, from a business standpoint, if you are a 4 or 5 seed and, oh, man, we're so close, and I'm not saying Vivek is winking, we're so close. I believe they do want to win.
Yeah.
But how badly do you want to win? Do you want to go in the luxury tax type of want to win? Mm-hmm. Or do you want to be competitive and tell people that you'll do anything? Because there's two sides of this, right? And, you bring up the Warriors, or at least Matt, well, both Matts did, but Matt the caller did. And once you have Steph, how long does that thing last? How many championships do they have if Joe Lacob says, I'm not going into the luxury tax?
Sure.
I'm just not doing it.
Yeah. They're still in the luxury tax today.
They're still in luxury tax now.
Number 1 highest payroll in the league.
And that's not our money. We don't do pocket watching anymore because the Kings are done.
That's right.
So there are levels to how much people want to win, okay? And some owners are more competitive than others. I'm not saying Vivek is or isn't. Yeah. I'm saying we'll see.
Yes. Yeah.
We shall see.
He says he will. He absolutely says he will, and I think his actions would suggest that he would be willing to for the right team, but no, absolutely. Like there's going to be a point where, you got to put your money where your mouth is, and if you really want this team to be successful and then have sustained success, it's going to be a lot of checks that come in front of Vivek that he's going to have to sign.
The thing that Matt, the caller, brought up that kind of sparked something in me prior to the break was that there is something to be said about when your team stinks for a long time. You don't want to stink or you'd rather not stink for a long time and then just be mid.
Yeah,
you feel like you deserve something after all of your years of stink.
Right.
The Astros, they stunk forever. They continued to draft high. Yeah. Next thing you know, with some trash cans as well, but they win they're winning championships now.
Absolutely.
The other teams that have the Bucks, they stunk. They got Giannis, whether it's luck or not, whatever. The Cavs, they stunk. They get LeBron. The Warriors, they stunk. They get Steph Curry. The Kings, they stunk.
Got Willie Cauley-Stein.
They got Willie Cauley-Stein. Then they stunk again, and then they got Ben McLemore and guys like
Nick
that.
Stauskas.
So out of all the years of stink, I think a lot of Kings fans feel like we didn't stink for this long to now chill for 5 more years.
Right.
I don't care. If we're not gonna win it all, right? Why don't we just go for it? And I can agree with that. I just don't know if business-wise that's what Vivek wants to do.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough. I mean it's a tough line to balance, but I mean this is the game that they're in, and you've got to if you are going to be serious about competing, you've got to be willing to do all that it takes. And I think it is a two-way street. I mean, I think Monty and Vivek definitely play their part, but the fans are too. Like the fans don't want trade anybody. I mean, and Keegan Murray is somebody who fans have definitely held on really tight to. And even last year, like, you could argue, and it makes a lot of sense, but I don't think they were willing to entertain Malik Monk as a trade option. He's a guy who was in an expiring contract. I think everybody knew what the situation was. Everyone knew there was a cap on the amount of money that Malik could get paid from this team, but the Kings didn't decide to explore that. And I think they hopefully will be shown to be correct in not doing that. But I think that there's a lot of tough decisions that you have to make if you want to be a winner. And I'm just not sold 100% yet that and I also am not sold that it's the right move, but going all in seems to be the only way that this current Fox and Sabonis group can get to the even being in the contending conversation is by making that big move. Like I think I agree with you when by not agreeing with Matt when Matt said he believes that this team is a Herb Jones trade away from being in the conversation that they want to be in.
Matt said he thinks that's where the Kings are.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, then I would disagree with if that's how the Kings.
I think we all disagree with the Kings.
I think that there's more. I think that this team does need another star, and I'm a fan of teams. Okay. I love the way that OKC has built this thing. I love the way that Denver has built this thing. I think the big difference is, and it ties into the draft as well, the Kings don't have a ton of different guys. Like, they don't have Herb Joneses chilling. They don't have Trey Murphy's just chilling. And so I think they have to go all in on these big stars because they really don't have the necessary depth. And I don't know how else they would get it unless they just absolutely kill it with their free agency signings.
Yeah, and we're going to find out, and I got a Carolina Reaper with my name on it if it doesn't end up.
It doesn't happen.
I'm hoping it doesn't happen either. You see these shades, I'm definitely going to have to put them on.
You're going to need those.
Grab some whole milk to take care of this. Spencer, we see you, and we will get to the callers and texters when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Guys, this month only, Revive Men's Health Sacramento offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Book your free exam and consultation today. Call 916-365-4566 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the network made for streaming. Well, the legend of Mason Miller keeps growing, and what a place to showcase his talents than Yankee Stadium. After the elbow injury last year, Miller has made the transition this year in a big way from starting to relieving. His 8 fastballs in the first game of the series averaged 102 miles an hour, including 102.5 to strike out Aaron Judge to end the game.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass, Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
From the 209, good afternoon, guys. What about trading Herter and Barnes for a KD caliber player? I think a lot of people would love to do that.
With the Suns. What does that do for Phoenix?
Right. Does Phoenix want, and they said KD caliber, well, 209, if it's not KD, who else is KD caliber?
Devin Booker. Same question still stands.
They move off of KD before Devin Booker.
I would
definitely
think so.
before Kevin Booker.
I would definitely think so. Yes, Kevin Booker.
Kevin Booker.
That dude.
Sounds like he's
My
trash.
Goodness, yeah.
916-339-1140. Let's get out to Spencer, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Spencer? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. How's it going? How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing good. Just,
good.
I was listening to your synopsis of the Kings and some of the different things that they could be doing. A couple things came to mind. One of which was, what? I mean, I know this is always the magic questions. What really are the Kings missing to become, I would say, a serious threat to win? I mean, I think this year it was tough because Monk was hurt the last, month and a half or month. And then Herter, who was pretty good in the playoffs in a couple games last year, he's out too. So, I mean, you got your 2 shooting guards out, basically.
Right.
But what do you guys think? What do the Kings need to win?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Spencer.
Sometimes the simplest questions can be the best ones.
And that is an outstanding question. And here's the thing. Let's take a step back, okay? Going back to what Matt had to say as far as his breakdown, Matt George, his breakdown of what the Kings think.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into the minds of the Kings front office
from that thought process.
From that thought process. When they say they are only a Herb
Jones,
Jones,
we'll just say a high-level role player.
High-level role player that can defend at a high level and can
probably knock down some shots.
Knock down some threes, some mid-ranges when you need an escape valve. So in the Kings' mind, let's just play the game.
Yep.
In the Kings' mind, you could say that if they're being as optimistic as possible, hey, a lot of things didn't go right for us this season.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Herter was never right.
Yep.
Keegan Murray has been dealing with a lot of changes, right? Just getting used to, we called it, the caterpillar season, getting used to defending and all that comes with it. So you have those two things. De'Aaron took a step forward with his three-point shooting. It kind of went away towards the end, but his volume went up when the injuries happened. You found Keon Ellis. Sabonis took his game to another level. All right. He's with Wilt Chamberlain, a bunch of different guys, right?
Yep.
So if you are being the most optimistic person possible, which I don't think the Kings front office should be.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you look at them, you could say if we can hold on to Malik Monk, who he took a step, De'Aaron continues to ascend, Sabonis continues to ascend.
Sure.
Keegan takes the very sought after third year leap.
Yep.
Okay. You get to keep Malik Monk, and then you add a high level defender that allows Keegan to focus back on his shooting and things like that. Yeah, you could convince yourself. But even if you do all of that, Chris, I've still only convinced myself that they are a 3 seed in this West.
Ask you that. I was just
that
about
is
to
not
ask
a
you
1
that.
seed.
No. I mean, okay.
You could get hot. You could get hot.
Even if it is a 1 seed, it's not a true title contender. Because there's a difference, right? Like there's a difference between winning a ton of regular season games.
That they could get hot. That they could get hot.
Absolutely.
They could say that what happened against the Warriors isn't maybe not an anomaly, but they think that it can translate. They could convince themselves of that.
Yeah.
So to answer Spencer's question, there are multiple answers. I think they need another star. I think Chris thinks they need another star. At what cost? I don't know. The Kings, and I think Matt might be right here, the Kings may feel, which means I'd be eating a Carolina Reaper in about a couple months here. The Kings may think if we get everybody back rolling right, and we can keep Malik Monk, all we need is a high-level role player, a Herb Jones, lock that dude down, a Trey Murphy, lock that dude down, and let's get it. I think the lowest that they can go, because I don't even know if Brandon Ingram's a star. He's a starter.
No, yeah.
So I think the lowest they can go is Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
If we want to even talk about a championship.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with everything you just said. Absolutely. Like I think that these guys are I would think that they're a star away. I think even if you're being optimistic, you could say that, a high-level role player maybe puts them more so back into the conversation where they were last season, but I don't think that they're a role player away from a champion like that or from championship contention. I just think that this team, again, I don't think they have the depth. And I'll ask you, how much do you think, because in this hypothetical Malik is staying, do you think the thought process, what Matt George laid out for us from the Kings thought process, I would guess that's with the assumption Malik stays.
Yeah.
How much do you think, or do you think at all that thought process changes if Malik goes?
I don't know.
Or do you think they say, oh no, we still just replace, obviously you're not going to fully replace Malik, but you just get a different 6-man in there and still you're a maybe 1.5 decent role players away?
That's a good question.
Or does that then change it to, oh no, we lost Malik. Now we really do need that star. Cause like I said earlier, you kind of supplement the fact that you almost do what Phoenix did this year. You say, we're not going to have the depth. So we might as well try and maybe, who knows? I mean, this year, as lucky as everyone said the Kings were 2 seasons ago, this season, everybody was healthy. Every single team felt like they were at full strength for a majority of the year. What are the odds that happens again? Maybe that could be
there was
where the
one that
Kings
wasn't.
betting. Who wasn't healthy? Who wasn't?
And they're coming.
Oh, Memphis. Gotcha.
That's another one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's another one. San Antonio. To answer your question, I think if Malik Monk leaves, I think that the gates are being open.
Right? Yeah.
I think that if Malik Monk leaves, this thing could get ugly as far as everybody is on the table. Because you'd have to, what are you going to go bring in? And no disrespect whatsoever.
Right.
Lonnie Walker.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to go get Lonnie Walker. You're going to go get Bones Highland.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
And you're going to essentially run it back with the same starting 5 again?
With a lesser 6-man.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Doesn't seem to make sense. I know we say success isn't linear, but that sure.
No, that's going the other way. You're going the other way.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing, Phoenix, they might be more cohesive once they get rid of KD because of whatever they get back.
Sure.
So I don't necessarily think that Phoenix, it's not as if the Grizzlies are going to show up and Phoenix is going to disappear. I don't even think the Warriors are going to. Nobody is going anywhere as far as every night you don't have to worry about them.
Right. I think it's just getting bigger.
And
right?
this Kings team, they had to worry about everybody. They found a way to lose to some of the worst teams in the league. They're top of the lottery. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dale. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Dale? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Love your show.
Thank you.
Hey, okay, Kings talk. Okay, this is my idea that's just been rolling around in my head the last couple of days. What if we do get a star? Let's just say even Brandon Ingram, right? And we keep Malik, and we put him in the starting five. Give him what he wants, and then we'll have 4 legitimate starters on that team, and then we'll have then Keegan maybe, or if he's gone, maybe Trey Lyles or whatever, whoever's going to come in there and fill that last spot. Can you imagine? I mean, if we had like those 4, Malik, Fox, Sabonis, and this new guy.
Yeah.
I think that is what the Kings need.
Thanks for the call. Awesome. Thanks for the call, Dale. I think that would be great. And I'll continue to say it. In my dream, I think the realistic dream that I have would be De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Sabonis, Keegan, and Brandon Ingram. That's your starting 5. I don't know what to do with the bench, so don't ask.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I mean, I would argue, because I think the bench, no matter what, is something that just, nobody knows what they're like. All of this conversation is a lot of like up top stuff, and like the back of the bench is that's all on Monty. Like Monty's got to figure out how to get some value.
Then
pieces.
You can go get Lonnie Walker.
Then you can go get Lonnie. Exactly. Then you can get Lonnie Walker. Then, hopefully maybe Sasha has a better second year. Maybe Chris Duarte has a better second year. You probably need to bring some other people
bounce back
in.
Season.
Trey, all that stuff. But no, I think I agree with, like, that would be the most ideal offseason. And, I guess that would include the 2 names you didn't include in there would be Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes to get that Brandon Ingram. To me, that makes the most sense. It's just I don't know how this offseason is going to go in terms of order, but can you get that trade done? And this is something you've proposed. Can you get that trade done in advance of Malik making his decision to almost say, look, you're not signing back up for the same situation you walked into. Here's us preemptively showing you what the situation you're going to walk into will look like. Because again, like, I just don't know. I don't know how much Malik is going to be needed convincing of that situation working.
Continuing the conversation, and we see the text line on fire as well, and the sack check. Continuing this conversation when we return. Also, some people want Monty McNair out of here. Some people think he should have went back-to-back as GM of the year. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or or visit us at powercopiers.com. Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit SACLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Maida Chevy saves you $10,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado, LT, RST, and LTZ in stock after rebate. Over 50 to choose from.
Exclusive all in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details. M43024.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
You talk about getting Brown out of town. Some people say that Monty McNair's seat is getting a little bit warm out, just like the weather. By the way, I know it's going to get hot, but I'm ready. Simone's rolling her eyes back there. So Monty McNair got a first place vote.
Yeah.
For Basketball Executive of the Year. He almost went back-to-back like young Drizzy. And Brad Stevens ended up winning with 16 first-place votes. He had 101 total points. Monty McNair didn't even get any second-place votes or third-place votes. He just got one singular first-place vote. Who votes on this?
I think it's the other executives in the league. I could be wrong, but or maybe it's the writers. I'll have to look into that, but I assume that it was the other GMs, and I definitely assumed that it would be Daryl Morey because I know they have a really good relationship. And like you just said, I don't know how somebody could maybe get a first place vote and then not a second and not a third. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Calvin Booth in Denver
right,
did not get one first place vote.
Really?
He got 2 second place votes, 2 third place votes. Monty McNair is the only person. He's the only other person after you get past the guys that essentially placed. But yeah, it's just after Jeff Weltman in Orlando, nobody else. And he comes in like 6th or 7th place. The other GMs, there's 8 below him. None of them got a first place vote besides Monty McNair.
So I looked into it, and yes, unlike most of the league's season-ending awards, the Executive of the Year award is voted on by the league's 30 executives, with no one being allowed to vote for themselves. So my guess, again, would be Daryl Morey, who is
not on this list. Either.
Yes, yeah. Well, he had a rough one in Philly this year.
That's right.
He had the whole James Harden.
He
situation.
lied to me.
I mean, you could, and you can maybe make a weird argument that, being able to put up with that and then still put together a playoff team, even though they did end up sliding back to 7, still pretty impressive.
I don't know if I like Brad Stevens there
as exec of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Well, with Monty winning it last season, okay, you have Sam Presti, Oklahoma City. They're the 1 seed. Tim Connolly, who I'm sure got joked after the Gobert trade, and now they're rocking and rolling. So I don't know.
The Celtics had like the best record in the NBA by far, though. They had 7 games above.
They were already cooking
the second place.
You know what?
But they shipped off everybody. They shipped off Marcus Smart and turned it into Porzingis.
Of course they did. Of course, that's easy to
Rob
do.
Williams.
Porzingis playing on a discount, and Drew Holiday. They get Drew
Holiday.
Holiday.
They got for nothing.
I don't know.
That's a steal.
It just
and
annoys
they
me.
got Peyton Pritchard on the bench who could probably start for half the
Brad
league.
Stevens just always finds
Sam
himself into
Hauser.
these outstanding situations.
Or does he create the outstanding situations for himself? He took Butler from nobody to a half-court shot away from winning a title.
That was a long
time
time
ago.
ago.
And then leveraged
You don't
that
even
into a
remember
Celtics
that.
coach.
You don't even remember that.
I do remember it. I remember it very, very
I
clearly,
remember it
very
too.
fondly.
I wanted Butler.
Shout
to
out
win that
Jaleel
one.
Okafor.
That was when I liked Brad Stevens.
Shout
and
out
now,
Trey Jones. Tyus. I think that was Tyus Jones.
There you go. 916-339-1140. Let's get to TC, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, our guy? TC, what you got for us?
Hey, man, just tapping in. What's going on with Christian Allen, though?
Enjoying a Tuesday.
Yeah,
my
living
guy.
good.
You know, just living good. Hey, I got a few options, bro. Like, you know, I said it before, bro. I love Malik Monk, bro, and I love what he brings to the table. But I'm going to keep pushing this issue, bro. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world, bro, if he go get a bag. Like, everybody, like, we can't play both sides of the fence. We can't be like, oh, if somebody offers Malik 30, tell Malik to leave. We love you, bro. And then, like, oh, it's going to be the end of the world. Well, what happens if he wants to take the 30 and everybody's, like, pushing him, like, Malik, go, bro. Go get the 30. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, even when Malik was playing, like, this year, bro, we were struggling. Like, and you can probably, like, it could kind of be an argument of, like, we were better defensively, like, with him off the court. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, I'm not taking nothing I'm not going to take nothing away from Malik. I love Malik, bro, but it's not going to be the end of the world, bro, if dude left and went to go get a bag. I'm looking at names, bro, like Emmanuel Quickly we could probably pick up. Caleb Martin, people like that, bro. Like, you can throw on a roster. Like, these are names that we should be looking at whether we get Malik back or not. Bruce Brown, you know what I mean? Sadiq Bey. Like, these are pieces that we need to put on the team. Like, I want Monk back, bro, but it's bigger than just Monk. Like, those guys I just told you, them is guys I think money need to be going after, like, off top to add to the bench or even making a starting role. What y'all think about that?
No, thanks for the call, TC.
As always.
And that's a huge point. We're sitting here acting like the Kings went from a 2 seed with Malik and Herter, and they both got hurt, and then they just drop, like, what is it, drop zone or Tower of Terror at Disney World or Disneyland. And that wasn't the case. I mean, they were firmly in position of the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want Malik to leave, but let's not act like this team, who was healthy for a good bit of this season, this team was healthy.
Definitely.
And then it got really unhealthy. But while this team was healthy, they were losing bad games. And what was the highest the Kings ever were in the standings for a long period of time? Let's see. It felt like slowly. I don't even remember them being the 4. I don't remember them being a 3. They were never the 3 when it actually mattered.
And check here real quick. The Kings' highest seeding throughout this entire season was they were the 4 seed for a little bit. Let's see here. Yep. It was the 4 seed in December. On December 25th, on Christmas. Shout out Christmas. Shout out Christmas.
Shout out gifts.
Yeah, shout out gifts. No gifts. The Kings were 17-11 and were the 4 seed behind Minnesota, Denver, and OKC. Those 3 ended up staying up there the entire year. The Kings would, from that point, slip into 6th, then 5th for a while, and then they would be in 5th all the way up until about February 6th, and then that's when the drop-off happened.
Yeah, we're just a Herb Jones away, though. I
will say, to TC's point of it's not the end of the world if the Kings lose Malik, obviously it's going to be completely different, but I think that's the thing to take away, is that just because it's not going to be the same doesn't mean it's not going to be better in the long run. Like, they can be a different version of this team. I think with Malik, you kind of, I don't want to say you're hamstrung, but we know the identity of the team Mike Brown wants to be. He wants to be a lot more like the Knicks, maybe, than the Kings of last year, where they're a high power offense, no defense. I think he kind of liked the style of play that they had at the end of the year. And I think, of course, they would have liked a little bit more offensive pop. But I think at the end of the day, if Malik were to leave and you look at your pieces and you say, okay, maybe we do bring in a Herb Jones type or whatever, we bring in 2 or 3 more defensively minded players, you start to shift your identity. And maybe that new identity is a better, more sustainable, better winning version of this team. And yeah, Malik was a really fun player to have, and it led to tons of highlights and explosive offenses that would go through the roof, but that might not be the team that actually gets the job done and ends up winning. I would kind of maybe, and this is, I don't even know if I believe this, but the comparison would be like, hey, when the Kings had Jason Williams, oh, you get the behind the back passes, you get the elbow passes, you get all the highlights, but with Mike Bibby, you get wins. You get buzzer beaters. You get, hey, this dude is going to take an elbow from Kobe and not complain about it and all that stuff. Right. Like, you're going to get more winning. It might not be as, of course, the Kings were still very aesthetically pleasing. It might not be as aesthetically pleasing, but it's more winning. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we want? So I don't even know if I believe it, but it could be true that Malik Monk leaving might not be the end of the world for the Kings.
Again, we are sitting here, and you can, even if they finished as a 6, let's say they win, or I'm trying to separate what happened with Malik. So let's say they finish as a 6 seed. You're sitting there as a 6 seed, and what? I guess you could try to convince yourself that you're a one piece away as a 6 seed, but ultimately this team was not a world beater even when they were completely healthy.
Yeah, but it was close. I mean, like, you could argue, like, hey, if you're 4 wins better or something, like that's a 3, like that you're a top 4 seed.
But that's fine, Chris, but they were going to get ran.
Maybe. I mean, again, only one team can, and it's about getting closer. Like, this thing is still, as Mike Brown will tell us 100,000 times, like, they're still early in the process of this.
Yeah. All right. Simone saying we got to go. So we got to go. And when we return, we will not be back alone. We will be joined by Amil Fragoso, Sactown Sports 49ers insider. His recap just dropped on SactownSports.com. Go check it out, and we will break it all down when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a 2-hand clutch makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey there, wanted to take a moment of your time so I could talk to you about insecurity. I could talk to you about confidence. I could talk to you about girth. Yeah, what? Girth? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you about the Upsize Clinic at UpsizeMatters.com. My good friend, Dr. Jack, and his friend, Dr. Pash in San Francisco, have a safe, effective, long-lasting doctor-performed procedure. It's non-surgical, virtually pain-free. Now listen, girth is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. What Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash are offering is a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation and get that confidence back. Reset in the bedroom with your partner. Financing is available. It's very private. It's very discreet. Available in Roseville with Dr. Jack and San Francisco with Dr. Pash at UpsizeMatters.com. That's UpsizeMatters.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with insulation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
We are joined by Amil Fragoso, Sactown Sports 49ers Insider. Amil, thank you for joining us as always.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Pretty good. How was your weekend?
Wonderful.
Yeah, good.
Wonderful.
Just with the draft and everything.
You know, it's 3 days of chaos, and then it's kind of over, and you're like, okay, the dust is settled, it's cleared, and we can think about it concisely. And I have to say, one of the better drafts in the John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan era, in my opinion.
Interesting.
So you went on and you wrote an outstanding article that is on Sactown Sports right now, and you have floors, you have ceilings. So let's not make the good people, the good listeners wait. Ricky Pearsall, who we talked about on Friday, you gave the Niners a B+ for this. Comp Julian Edelman, I've read, obviously, from Niners peeps, bigger, faster Julian Edelman. Went to Florida. Before that, he was at ASU. You have his ceiling as Adam Thielen and his floor as Braxton Berrios. Why don't you break that one down?
Yeah. Look, obviously, two or three Caucasian wide receivers. So you see that profile type, sure.
Come on, Amil,
but
be better.
If you just watch him play, if you just watch Ricky Pearsall play, he looks a lot like Adam Thielen out there. And just in terms of being a do-it-all, kind of can play the slot, play outside, get open. I know you know very well about Adam Thielen, about you say glorified number 2 option that can serve as a number 1, but that's a really good standard for a guy who's had 2,000-yard receiving seasons in 2017 and 2018. And if Adam Thielen, or if Ricky Pearsall could be
getting them confused.
See how it goes. You see how it goes. If they can just figure out a way how to use them correctly, and the Niners will, it'll be a very productive thing. And I just saw on Twitter as I was walking in here a little post from our guy Brad Graham from SF Niners. He was talking about how great of a blocker he is. He's 2 minutes into the tape and how great of a blocker Ricky Pearsall is. I mean, he's able to, on the outside, get out and cut out blocks and be really physical and aggressive. And John Lynch really talked about this.
Yeah.
They got to find guys that play their style of football. Guys that aren't going to be in the doghouse on day one, like Danny Gray was, or even Brandon Ayuk was, because they had to learn how to be a complete wide receiver. Ricky Pearsall right now, maybe my second best wide receiver in terms of being the most complete person on the roster, just because of what he can do both inside and out, both blocking and just being a willing teammate. It's hard to be a willing teammate as a rookie, and that's kind of what he is, and that's why my comp is Julian Edelman, ceiling is Adam Thielen. But if things go A-wire, which happens with these draft picks, especially.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, we saw that.
We tell you about Laquan Treadwell.
Yes, I'm talking about Laquan Treadwell. I'm talking about Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all those guys. Braxton Berrios is the floor. But even then, that's still a guy who has multiple contracts in the NFL. So I think this is a very good pickup for the Niners.
And I mean, you mentioned Brad and blocking. And my question for you would be, I thought the Niners needed a right tackle in this draft. And I look at it, and I know they took Pooney, and I knew they took Kingston. And I think Pooney, they're saying they believe he can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. How do you feel about just the individuals first, but then do you think that the Niners needed a right tackle? Because there's a lot of people who feel like the Niners could have taken a Colton McKivitz replacement in this draft, specifically in the first round.
Yeah, I was one of those people.
Okay,
I was much higher on a Roger Rosengarten from Washington or a Kingsley Suamatea from BYU, one of those guys. And actually, the Niners allowed the Chiefs to take Kingsley a pick before them. I was kind of curious, but then I thought back, hey, maybe he's just not on their board at that level.
Like
maybe,
you said, I mean,
maybe
they like their guys.
They
right?
do. And again, a lot of these tackles, a lot of these offensive talent, because there were so many good ones in the first round, they all went so early, right? By the time we got to pick 25, all the first round talents were gone. And so because of that, teams had to reach and go 2 rounds higher for these tackles to get them because they just wanted to get their guy. The Niners weren't in the position to do that. They wanted to wait a little bit longer because the board fell that way. Of course, they wanted to take a tight end as well. That didn't happen either. So they just weren't going to reach for a guy because they had to. They wanted to get guys that were going to be instant impact guys. And guys, there's a whole theme in this draft. Every single player they took is either a 5th-year senior or played a bunch of games.
Right.
And that's important for them because that means that those guys can come in right now and play potentially. And because they have all the experience. Look at Brock Purdy, 4-year starter at Iowa State.
Right.
Able to adapt really, really well. The Niners just want that versatility and guys that they can rely on because they are trying to win a Super Bowl after all.
Yeah, that's just what the goal always will be. Talking to Amil Fragoso, Sactown Sports 49ers insider, going over his draft recap piece that you can see yourself on SactownSports.com. So, Amil, look, we know how this thing goes. Within Niners media, there are some Niners members who the Niners can do no wrong. There are some Niners members who the Niners can do no right.
We know who they are.
We appreciate you because you fall somewhere in the middle. But is there anything in this draft that you didn't like that the Niners did?
There is. There is. And I would say trading up for a running back was on the top of my list. I'm just not a fan of trading up for a running back when you're the 49ers and they kind of feel like a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
That was one of my gripes. But the other one was, again, not taking a tight end. Right, you behind George Kittle, you have a guy in Cameron Latu who basically redshirted his freshman his first year because of I was at training camp.
I heard terrible things.
It was bad. It was not good. He had like oven mitts for hands. Respectfully, I wish the best for Latu.
No, that's what pretty much the reports.
That's what he had multiple drops on multiple occasions on multiple days. It was not good, and actually the injury. Obviously, knock on wood.
Might have saved him from being cut,
in disguise.
Right?
It was a blessing in disguise for him. I was much more higher on Braden Willis out of Oklahoma at that time as well, too. Braden Willis proved his value, kind of a spot practice squatter. But behind that, they got a guy in Eric Saubert, who's a veteran journeyman tight end, and that's it behind George Kittle. They really need a tight end just even have a replacement level one. They don't really have. They're asking a lot of those guys. So that was kind of my gripe was that, and then trading up for a running back who, again, Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason.
We don't even see Jordan Mason.
And I'm a big JP Mason.
He looks great in the preseason every year.
They call him the closer for a reason. He's such a good closer for them because he's such a
closing
He's closing the time of his time on the end, and it seems. Who knows? But I love JP Mason. I hope he gets some more run this year because every time he does, he produces. But in terms of Isaac Garendo, I think he's a nice change of pace back and what they're looking for. I just don't know if the positional value is there to trade up to go get that guy.
How much do you feel like the 49ers got better for next year?
Significant.
In 2024.
They got better. Absolutely. They got better. Sure, they could have taken another tackle, another offensive lineman. They did take two, thankfully. I wasn't as high on the Jared Kingston tape after watching it as I was before, but they still took one, and I'll just take anybody at this point to be on that line. They got better, though, in all the other positions, right? They needed a Deshaun Gibson replacement. Malik Mustafa. They need another change of pace running back, probably. Isaac Garendo. They needed wide receiver depth behind Debo, Ayuk, Juwan. They got that in both Jacob Cowing and Ricky Pearsall.
But did they?
Yes.
Why?
Why did they sign two?
But they have Juwan. You have Juwan Jennings. You have Ronnie Bell. You have but two more guys.
Danny
I'm forgetting.
Danny
Gray.
Danny Gray didn't play at all last year.
He had what was his name? He had the big catch.
Oh, Chris Conley.
Chris Conley.
They like Chris Conley, but they like him as more of a blocker than a pass catcher.
Okay.
Respectfully, Chris Conley has been a great practice squatter. They're going to keep him on, obviously. They want to inject more juice into this offense and guys that can do a little bit different things. They have needed a Jacob Cowing type player for so long. A Marquise Goodwin, if you will, a burner over the top, a smaller guy in stature, 5'8", 165.
Who was supposed to be Danny Gray, but it just hasn't worked out.
He hasn't been able to stay healthy, unfortunately. And again, talk about the doghouse. Danny Gray's in the doghouse, not being able to block at all. He's just not a blocker. That's not his thing. Jacob Cowing, I expect to also be in that doghouse, but initially. But I think he's more of a willing player because of his ability to go 4 years and be in the offense more and understand that there's more to being a receiver than just catching passes. And I think Jacob Cowing understands that, and that's going to allow him to have more positional versatility. Pearsall, I have no worry about whatsoever about him being in that doghouse. He's going to be out there on day one, in my opinion. And so I think that was important to just add more juice to this team, more younger names this team, because there were a lot of high reward, low floor guys. Chase Young, Randy Gregory, all these guys they brought in during the season. They needed younger guys that they can back up in case of injury or even past this year, because we don't know the future of these wide receivers, especially Debo. They needed guys they can trust and guys they can mold and build into. And that's kind of what this draft was about, was building for the future, but also taking guys that can play in spots right now, guys like Malik Mustafa.
What do you think? That's this season, but do you think that there's anything that you could read from this draft that maybe tells you about the Niners' future plans? Because again, they take a receiver in the first round. There's a lot of rumors about the Niners moving on from those receivers. Yeah. They take a safety who Funga, I believe, has a contract that's coming up here pretty soon. Should Niner fans maybe read a little bit into that and say, these guys, while you say that they're getting ready for 2024, maybe this draft is also indicating the future might not be there for a couple Niners?
That's the truth. That's the reality, is that this, in my opinion, it's probably the final year of this championship window for this current core group. A couple changes have to come after this season. Obviously, Nick Bosa's big money is coming up after this season. Brandon Ayuk's going to get paid most likely by the 49ers now. Debo, this is his only year of real money. After this year, it can be very much cut or traded. And just Fred Warner, too. Fred Warner, Tavarius Ward.
Right.
Diamador Lenore wants a new contract. Just a variety. Brock Purdy as well has to have his money, and that's going to be in the excess of $35-40 million a year, because that's what the going rate is for a quarterback of his stature. Decisions have to change. They have to come up. Things have to get different. They have to get younger. They have to get younger at certain spots. And that's what this draft was about, was about adding the talent right now, molding it behind more established guys at Debo Samuel and Ayuk, Jair Brown, Talanoa Funga, who've been in the system already, but kind of leaving the door open for, if we got to make that change, we can do it. We started seeing it this year with Eric Armstead on that D-line and how much has changed this offseason. More changes are on the way after the season, but right now, it's a championship window team that wants to win a Super Bowl this year. Everything about this draft was about mostly all in for this year.
And And they still have the best odds to win the whole thing. Let's see if they can get it done. When we return, we ask Amil, what does Last Dance mean? Who won't be on the team next season, according to him? And also, we take a broader look at the NFL draft. Why did the Raiders not take Spencer Rattler? And other questions you may have. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Simone playing all the Drake when the new Kendrick just dropped today.
I haven't heard it yet.
Simone's been switching back and forth. There you go.
Alan, have you listened to the diss track yet?
I listened to it on the way in.
I haven't heard it yet. Is it worth my time?
Skip past the first 3 minutes.
It's more than 3 minutes?
It's 6 minutes.
Oh, boy.
It's almost a segment long.
Oh, boy.
But after that 3 minute mark, it gets real.
Okay.
Barry Webster's happy for sure.
Yes, definitely was very happy. Guys, speaking of the Raiders, the Raiders are launching their own fan cruise in 2025, a 7-night trip from LA to the Mexican Riviera, open bar, mini golf, casino, autograph sessions, alumni dining. Alumni include Reggie Kinlaw, Jacoby Ford, Willie Galt, and others. Room range from about $2,400 to $16,000. Emilian, me and you will go splitsies.
Whoa.
Oh, he loves the Raiders.
I'm out.
All right.
I'm out.
For these reasons, Emil is
crazy.
out. Yeah, that's
7
kind of
days is
insane.
too long. 7 days is way too long.
Yeah,
for a cruise.
that's weights.
I could do 5.
Wait, 7 days is too long for a cruise?
I think so.
What's like your max vacation time? Is it 7 days, 2 weeks?
A cruise is not. I mean, that's different than vacation. A cruise.
You
I
get
don't
a
want to
little
be out.
claustrophobic?
You're just gonna be stuck on a boat.
No,
for
but
7 days.
you dock at the ports and you go explore
like
the
4
town.
days in, 3.5 days in.
No,
Dock at
it's
some ports.
It's like every day. There's cruises like along the Caribbean where you like stop at the island.
Emil,
each
if you're so
day
high
and-
on it, then let's go halvesies.
Look, it's out of my pay grade. I'm down for a good time. It's off season.
I hear ya.
We gotta save the money.
You go, and then once you go to the casino, oh wait, we probably can't say that on air. As we're talking to Amil Fragoso, Emil, let's get to the Last Dance conversation that you've been discussing, because Chris and I have been trying to figure out, well, who does that mean? I think the only one we're both pretty sure will not be a part of the next season of Last Dance is Debo. But who
Trent.
else?
I would say Trent.
And Trent. Who else do
Really?
you think? Well, not Trent, because they want to move off. That I think we're talking retirement.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel okay.
Yeah.
So besides,
I mean, he
Debo,
already pretty much said that this is going to be his last season.
right. Besides Debo
He said
and
it last-
Trent,
He said it during the Super Bowl.
He also said it after the Eagles lost too. Trent says a lot of things. He also said after that Eagles loss, when we talked to him 2 months later, he was going to the gym at 3:30 in the morning.
okay, but either way, it's his decision, right?
Yes.
Outside of Trent and Debo, who are guys that you wouldn't be surprised don't make it into next season with the Niners?
It's tough. It's tough because you got to look at the salary cap and where it's at as we get closer to that, because a lot of things can still change. But if I'm just going off right now, last dance with this current core, I would say Deebo Samuel is number one on that list. I would say that Dre Greenlaw also is on that list potentially. I know his contract is coming up as well.
Achilles now.
As well, yeah. And we know how the Niners are with these injuries. It just did to Eric Armstead, their blueprint, as they called him, no longer a part of the team. Talanoa Hufanga as well has a lot to prove this year, and this year could be a prove year for him, and we'll see what happens after that. And then on top of that, it's all up in the air. Trent, as you mentioned, has, contemplated retirement here and there, but he also wants to set a lot of records, and he wants to win Super Bowl, right? This is a guy who's done every single thing in his career in the NFL except win a Super Bowl. Once he wins that Super Bowl, I think he'd retire, have man the next day. But until he has that thirst quenched, I think it's always still going to linger in his mind. So that's why at Trent, I'm a little bit more hesitant to say he's going to be this is last year. But Deebo Samuel, I very much think this is his last year with $28.9 million owed this year. After this season, they can cut him and save a good amount on their cap this year and next year with only minimal dead cap per year. I forget the exact numbers. And that's kind of where they're at, is that they have to get younger and get faster and figure out what's next with Brock Purdy becoming franchise quarterback money.
So you think that Deebo will be cut?
Or traded.
And somebody will pick him up.
Yes. I think the Niners are going to not have the leverage they have this year because he's entering the final year of his deal, and the teams know that.
By the way, this whole thing happened as Chris and I were getting ready to get off air. This Steelers thing.
Oh.
What was that? So for those who kind of miss it, and you didn't really miss much, a report came out that the Steelers were in deep talks with the Niners for either Deebo or Brandon Ayuk, which tells them they're just thirsty because those are two completely different type of players and completely different ages. So the Steelers reports came out from Pittsburgh that something was very close to being done. People at first thought it was Cortland Sutton was part of that conversation. A Denver reporter comes out and says it's not Cortland Sutton. And 24 hours later, absolutely nothing happened. And the report was that the Niners refused to budge on what their asking price is.
That report's correct. I can confirm that report. The Niners were asking for a first-round pick for Brandon Ayuk, one in the top 20, one that they could replace right away with a guy of his production. Again, the guy that Brock Purdy's favorite target. I know Jennifer Lee Chan came on with the Drive Guys yesterday and was like, I never thought both those guys were getting traded because it didn't make any sense for this team. And I stand by that. It made no sense to trade Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel this year while you're trying to win a Super Bowl. Especially considering the cap number they had to take on. There's no financial incentive for the Niners besides just wanting to clear the books for next year, but you're kind of screwing yourself over to win a Super Bowl without him. And that's the reality for this team, is why it's been such a juggling act for John Lynch, is finding that middle ground of bridging the gap. I know the Warriors tried to do it, and it was successful. They did win a title, but now it's like, was it very successful? What do we do now? And so those questions are getting pushed down the line. And here we are, is what is next for this team? Those reports, though, in terms of the Steelers and stuff, absolutely true. Niners were listening to offers. As I told you guys last week, Thursday, leading up to the draft, they were listening to offers for both players. However, they were not going to take a discount offer because they had to deal. They didn't have to do anything, and they didn't do anything. They kept both guys, but because of John and Kyle's maturity over the years, they didn't close the door on anything, and that's kind of where they're at right now.
I want to ask you about the Raiders draft, because I know there's tons of Raider fans out here in Sacramento who don't really get to hear about their team as often anymore. What did you think about the Raiders draft? I think we might have on Friday talked a little bit about the Brock Bowers pick. I guess reports have since came out that the Raiders were, targeting Michael Penix at that pick. He obviously wasn't there.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Raiders draft? And as Alan teased, I mean, they didn't end up going with the only quarterback that pretty much everybody else was saying would be available the remainder of the round, and Spencer Rattler. Do you think that was the right decision? And what do you think about the Raiders draft in total?
I'm just glad they didn't trade for Bo Nix. I'm just really glad they didn't trade
that
for Bo
would have
Nix.
been tough.
He just gives me more Aiden O'Connell vibes, and I'd rather give AOC his time this year.
I think a lot of people
in that offense, and let Gardner kind of be the adopted dad, and just let him learn the ropes, and they can spot start and stuff. Look, this Raiders team is very well built together in terms of having star power on both sides. Sure, they can use other pieces here and there, some more depth guys, but they had a really good job under Antonio Pierce considering everything that happened last year, considering the changes mid-season. And my whole thought process with this, the Raiders, because they wanted Penix. We know they wanted Penix. They didn't get the quarterback they wanted this time around, and they have another quarterback already in the wings, and Aiden O'Connell, who's young, and they want to see develop. They have Gardner Minshew already set up for a year or two. Let it play out. If it doesn't work this year because of the quarterback play, if you don't have a good record, guess what? You still get your draft pick next year, a high draft pick, and guess who's coming up? Shedeur Sanders.
But
that's
Amil, but that's the thing. What we were talking about with the Kings, the Raiders continue to do this thing. They're going to get 8 wins again, and they're going to have a 12th pick again.
Maybe. What everyone gets hurt.
If you're going to stink, then stink.
Yeah.
They don't want to stink. But if they do, there's a backup. Because if they don't stink, that means that Aiden O'Connell or Minshew is doing a good enough job. If they do stink, it's because of the quarterback typically.
Can I ask you a spicy question?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't the Raiders look to trade Davante Adams?
Blasphemy.
It's a question I've asked a couple times too. It's not working out.
It's not working out.
It's not working
It's not working out.
And I feel bad for
because
Davante.
you're not going to win a Super Bowl.
He does not want to.
2-3
I
years.
felt bad for him too, but he doesn't want to leave.
He doesn't want to leave. No, he doesn't.
I mean, he's got a great contract. He lives in a warm climate rather than Green Bay. Again, this is a guy who grew up a lifelong Raiders fan, and why we were so happy to bring him into the organization, because he was a guy that bleeds
and this
silver
has
and
not
black.
been his fault at all.
No, it is not. And again, he's older now, 31, 32 years
Yeah.
old. He's not going to have the same number he had.
But we talk
years
about the
ago.
Niners looking for a first-round pick for Debo, and I mean, you can get a first-round pick for Davante Adams if you're really trying to build this thing out. I would think so. I would think somebody will.
They couldn't get one for Stephon Diggs, and you got to say they're on similar numbers
I
there.
would not say, I would not
is
say
better
that.
than
I would not say
Stephon.
that.
I mean, some people would argue. It's not like Devontae's been lighting the fields up the last 2 years. He's been good, but he hasn't been the MVP number one wide receiver he's been in recent years. And so when you look at those two, he's better. Obviously not a head case like Stephon Diggs,
right?
But it's all about market value and where they're at age-wise too. That's why Brandon Ayuk is so much more value than Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
you can't say that Debo isn't more valuable to the Niners than Ayuk is, because they're pretty much on that same playing field. But age and injury history and just where is this going long-term? Brand's able to bet on long-term. Devontae, Debo, Stephon, hard to bet on long-term. It's why their value is lower.
There you go, Amil Fragoso. Amil, thank you so much. As always, go check out his piece on the Niners draft. Like we said, very in-depth breakdown. Got the position, got the college, got the grade, got the comp, got the ceiling, got the floor, got the basement as well. Amil Fragoso, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, when we return, continuing the conversation, getting into some baseball. That's right, America's pastime, because I said so and Chris is allowing me to. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday is looking bright and sunny. A bit of a subtle north breeze out there with highs today that will peak in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Expect overnight lows to drop off to lower 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Guys, are you ready to give up because you think you've tried everything and you're still dealing with loss of energy, poor sleep, weight gain, and even ED? Revive Men's Health Sacramento has local medical providers that offer low T and ED treatments customized to each patient's unique physical makeup. By working with a specialized compounding lab, personalized treatments are guaranteed, even when generic pills and supplements haven't worked. It all starts with your free comprehensive exam and consultation. Availability is limited. Book today, and for this month only, Revive offers qualified patients a free 1-month supply of personalized ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. The experts at Revive Men's Health Sacramento will work to provide the right treatment for you so you can show up as the best you in all aspects of your life. Call 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566. Or send them a private message at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Sponsored by Xfinity. Enjoy the entertainment you love with the Xfinity Stream app. Turn any screen into a TV and take the entertainment you love wherever you go. Xfinity, we connect you to more of what you love.
Maida Chevy saves you $10,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado, LT, RST, and LTZ in stock after rebate. Over 50 to choose from.
Exclusive all in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details, M43024.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Look for two on the infield. The pitch to McCutcheon, a soft broken bat, one hopper to second, flip to Allen, and on to first, and that will end the ball game on a 6-4 or a 4-6-3 double play. How about that? A little one hopper, a broken bat, soft one hopper to second, taken by Schumann. He flipped to Nick Allen on the bag, and the ball game ends on a 4-6-3 double play. They just limit the Pirates to just 2 hits tonight. And the A's have beaten Pittsburgh by the final of 5-1.
The A's and the Giants have some things in common. They are both C- after the first month. As far as ESPN is concerned, again, thank you to Amil Fragoso, Sactown Sports San Francisco 49ers insider. Go check out his piece on the NFL draft. But 2 C- is Chris, looking like my report card at De La Salle with the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland Athletics after the first month. The A's have had some bright spots. They've beat some good teams. They beat the Yankees. Mason Miller, you know what I'm afraid of? And I know this is very typical, and I'm assuming he is tradable and available because this is what the A's have done historically. I'm worried, and I know what's the point of being a closer if your team isn't very good.
Yeah. Well, they're actually doing okay.
Mason Miller. I really don't want them to move Mason Miller, but it feels like that's something that they would do. Sure. They are 13-17, so it could be worse.
Yeah.
And
it definitely could be worse.
It definitely could be much worse. Yeah. And yeah, I hope that they hold on to that kid because I mean, you have a, and even being in Sacramento next season, I'm sure Vivek will think of some lights or some intro for him because having an electric closer,
it's Miller time.
They're just all right. I mean, that would definitely after every strikeout, they just play It's Miller Time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so quiet in here.
I went to this is super random, but I went to a Blazers game once, like 10 years ago, and they had Mason Plumlee, and every time he scored, they would say, "Mace in your face." So maybe they could do that with Mason Miller.
Maybe not. Your face. We don't have to. They'll think of something. And the Giants, the Giants, yes, it's not even a question. The Giants with higher expectations than the A's.
It feels wrong that the Giants have the same grade as the A's.
Exactly.
Especially on a curve.
So the A's are 13 and 17. The Giants are,
13 and 14.
Yeah.
Or 14 and 15, I'm sorry.
Yeah. They are 14 and 15. They're having some issues. They did beat the Pirates, who are also 14 and 15. And Andrew McCutchen is still playing, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I couldn't believe it.
I think this is
love me some Andrew McCutchen, but might be time to call it, buddy.
Play for a long time.
Might be time to cut.
Time. Please come on the show.
Yes.
Jung Hoo Lee has kind of been hot and cold.
Yeah.
I love what I'm seeing from him.
Yeah, looks
from I guess the defensive standpoint. He's just your stereotypical leadoff hitter, and that's what they've missed. Besides that, Jorge Soler, he is what he is.
Right.
Patrick Bailey has still hit the ball pretty well defensively. They say leapers like to leap in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in baseball, chuckers like to chuck. And Patrick Bailey, he's got a bazooka on him, and he likes to show it off a little bit too much.
I wondered where you fell on this, because last year the hype machine of Patrick Bailey's thrown out there was like 20 runners at second base or whatever.
He threw out Ellie De La Cruz, and everyone is saying okay, but then he'll overthrow and he'll do things like that. So he
had that nice walk off the other day.
He did. So, and even Yastrzemski is starting to figure some things out.
Sure.
Frankie Cardicelli and myself, we will be heading the River Cats coverage this season. We're going to be at the game on Thursday, and Elliot Ramos, who's been tearing it up in AAA. I mean, I don't really care how good Austin Slater is against. Oh, he's Mike Trout against left-handed. I don't care. I can honestly tell you,
we don't care.
Get Elliot Ramos in before we start thinking that there's
Alan
something
starts causing
else at
problems.
play. You know what I mean? Get Elliot Ramos back in the show, but do it after Thursday so I can see my guy.
That's right.
In person. All right, Chris, you had some things to break down as far as the A's are concerned. And some of the rumors that were rumbling around the time of the Sacramento announcement, they're starting to catch some steam based on a I guess decision that was made by A's ownership yesterday.
Yeah, so it was announced yesterday. I don't know if there's like an official credit date. Like if the LA Times reported here first that the Athletics hired an investment banker to secure $500 million in private financing for the new stadium out in Vegas. And I think this is just, if you didn't see it, hit your timelines yesterday. A lot of A's fans upset because, first off, this is when John Fisher says he tried everything he possibly could to get the deal done in Oakland. That's just not true, because I think a lot of people have been saying for a long time, this guy doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any of the money that he has or that he's talked about. And, the city of Oakland did their job in raising enough money on their end. Then some. They have raised even more than what they had initially pledged to do. And John Fisher at every single turn has said, my pockets, the way my bank account's set up.
Yeah, there's flies flying out of his pockets.
Yeah, and so essentially, the thing that's got a lot of A's fans upset, especially when you see it laid out like this, is this guy has gotten handouts at every single turn of this process, and he still has shown with this report that he does not have the money to do what he says to get done, and so he's now resorting to, I think, in this report is that he will sell a portion of the team in order to get that money. But he's kind of
like refinancing almost.
In a way, yes, absolutely. Yeah. In a way, absolutely. He got the relocation fee waived when they moved to Vegas. That was, of course, a big point of contention that MLB just essentially said, I know we usually, this is actually the whole point pretty much of relocation is you just collect a blank check or whatever, a check that says, this is just hey, we're going to move this team and everybody gets to split that money. They waive the relocation fee. They got free rent on the Strip. They essentially got given the 9 acres by the Tropicana. They didn't have to pay for a dime. The A's aren't owning the land or anything. They're just essentially tenants in that spot. They got $380 million in public funds from the city of Nevada. So again, from the state of Nevada. So again, other people raising money for this A's situation when John Fisher has not put a dollar of his own stuff out there. Free rent to play in Sacramento the last 3 years. That was a really big point of contention because the A's and their offer, I think it's been different reports of what the city of Oakland was asking the A's to pay, but it was multiple millions of dollars that they were going to pay in rent. Sacramento gives them free rent and they still need money. They still need money even after all of those handouts. And it just points to the fact that John Fisher is not suitable to do any of the things that he's planning to do. He needs help. And, frankly, I mean, but I think the real frustrating thing is, and obviously A's fans know this, sell the team. If you don't have the money to do what you want to do with the franchise, sell the team to somebody who does have enough money to get these things done. And that's all everybody wants. That's all everybody wants is just John Fisher to sell the team and for the city of Oakland to legitimately have a chance at keeping their team. But no, this guy just decided to get every handout possible. And then even still is like, I need help.
If you are a Sacramentan and you are so happy that the A's are coming next season, I don't know if you want Fisher to sell the team.
No, you want him to keep the team because he's gonna shipwreck this thing.
Right? Because I think that they would probably have to. Let's say John Fisher sells the team tomorrow.
Let's say.
I think that contract would still have to be honored
in terms of going to Vegas
or coming to SAC. I'm talking about the SAC interim.
I would think so. I would think it all. I think all of it would have to be. I mean, it's too much in motion, right? Like I couldn't imagine somebody could just come in and.
But that's what everybody's been. But that's what everybody's been saying about if Joe Lacob were to buy it. Joe Lacob could buy it and bring them back to Oakland. Sure. Well, can he?
Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I mean, if you're the owner of the team, maybe you could negotiate something with Vivek and say, "Hey, plans have changed," and I don't know with John Fisher if anything is on paper.
I think if you are a Sacramento fan or just somebody who is excited, I don't think you want John Fisher to sell for the next 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. I think you want to get them in the building, enjoy yourself, and you can sell when they're getting ready to leave, and then we'll see what happens after that. But whenever a sale happens, you just never know, right?
Yeah,
so many things, and you talk about Amil above his pay grade. Well, that's above my pay grade as well, as far as how the nooks and crannies work there. All right, when we return, crosstalk with the Drive guys, and we'll probably talk about my salad bowl. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat?
I don't know. Why?
Peer pressure.
Oh, good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat.
Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. You have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it. Come on. Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit ZachLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We are joined by Whitey Gleason. And I got to say, I love your new feature, guys. Kudos to the both of you. Mostly to Chris, who I think came up with it.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Holiday shout out. Shout out Christmas. Oh, yeah. That was awesome. Yeah. Then I thought, what's next? And I realized, tomorrow will be a new holiday. That's right. Yeah. You got it.
Mr.
Yeah. You got
I actually don't like the fact that you listen to the show. I actually don't like it.
You got to tune in.
God, now I know what Dave used to feel like. Jeez.
Whitey. Yes. Yeah, where to go from there?
Shout out Christmas.
I'm not, yeah, we're having fun. Yeah,
shout out Raheem Christmas.
You'll see what it is tomorrow. Whitey, you said that you were doing some reading up yourself on the Brandon Ingram thing. Yeah. And we didn't even catch David Griffin because I guess it came out during our show, his notes and what he had to say, and they were a little eye-opening. Can you share what you saw?
Sure. And there's audio which I haven't heard, and you know how things can sometimes read a little differently than they read. Reads differently than it sounds. But let's see if I got my Vallejo Seaweeds hat here. So, yeah,
I did not see tryouts online. By the way,
that calf though.
I hear you.
Yeah. He said, in the past, we've always erred on the side of continuity, and our takeaway has always been, let's see this group healthy. I think we've seen it enough.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It's like, okay, well, we've seen it. Now we make decisions, and I think he talked about the importance of, improving. So that could be just, all right, of course he's saying that, or it could be, ooh,
Which is hilarious because I think that's him just saying uncle and saying, I just don't think we'll ever see it, because they didn't even have Zion. So they didn't see the team fully healthy in the playoff series. But I think he's probably saying at this point, we can't keep waiting and hoping that we're finally going to see it. And we have to move forward with something. Now, Chris, you had said that you just thought that there's no way, and we talked about star power, and even though Zion probably his star isn't as bright as we thought it would be at this point in his career when he got drafted, you kind of dismissed any thoughts of moving off of Zion when we did this, when we talked about this last week. Zion, another name to New York. We heard Devin Booker yesterday is interested in New York, and we also heard
said that.
Yeah, Stephen A said that. There's Donovan Mitchell, and there's always been Zion. Are you still in that stance where you think, as David Griffin is speaking here, you just think, is it from a production standpoint, or you think from a brand standpoint they can't move off of Zion Williamson?
I just don't know if anybody knows what Zion's value is. Like, I think it's definitely a beauty in the eye of the beholder thing, because I mean, David Griffin pretty much said it. Like, we can't rely on it. Like, he's been healthy, and he was healthier than he's ever been this season, and he still wasn't healthy in the playoffs. So I don't know how realistically any team could properly figure out what Zion's worth is, or at least what they're willing to give up. And I'm sure when a team does find out what they're willing to give up, I don't think it's going to be what New Orleans is looking for.
Here's his quote.
I think it's tough.
Pardon me, Chris.
No,
I'm sorry. His quote on Zion: I think we had some really good opportunity to see Zion play a career high in games. I think we saw it for segments of time well enough to understand that we've got a lot of work to do. He also talked about teams in the West. There's teams that didn't make the playoffs that are going to get radically better this offseason. We need to do the same. I think you'll see a real sense of urgency from all of us to do that.
Wow. See,
who would you say are the teams that aren't in the play? I guess maybe Sacramento is one of those teams. Memphis for sure, right?
Memphis, maybe San Antonio,
perhaps.
Warriors,
Utah does
Houston.
have a ton of picks also.
Well, little does he know the Kings only feel like they're a Herb Jones away.
That's the one guy I would not trade if I were him.
Right.
He's phenomenal.
No, Herb and
Trey.
Trey. Yep.
Yeah.
Those seem to be the two of the future.
Yeah. Those guys are rock solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there is, the bottom line is that between the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Suns, there's plenty of high-level talent to go around. Older talent, but high-level talent. Somebody is going. I just don't see. KD is not going to be on the Suns next season. I don't think he is. It's just a matter of where he's going to be. Here's a crazy question. We talked about if the three of them, LeBron, KD, and Steph, teamed up in Golden State because they're the OGs, and hey, whatever to the system, we're going to do what we want. These guys we're on the way out anyway. If it was Steph and KD part 2 with the same roster, they probably have to give up Kuminga and some of their younger guys, but that same starting 5, is that hitting the way it used to hit? Is that marketing like you did a couple years ago? Because I'm not sure.
Man, that would be expensive. Did you hear what Windhorst had to say about all that today? Did you guys see that?
I only saw some of it. Yeah, we played the LeBron stuff.
Where he's like, you before you spend too much time in fantasy land, if LeBron decided he wanted to play for less, then he said the Lakers would have to approve that. He says, you can't just decide because the Lakers can sign him to X amount. Yeah, I hadn't heard of this either. He's basically said if LeBron wants to play for less than that, the Lakers still have to approve that. So I'm a little
even on the Lakers.
If he wanted to go play for that somewhere else,
I see.
It was a little interesting to me too, but it implied that LeBron can't just go anywhere he wants. And he also said LeBron wants to buy teams, or a team, so he's not going to just throw away $50 million to say I'll take the mid-level to go play with whoever. So
LeBron cares about his brand and his business probably at this point in his career more than chasing a ghost. That's what it feels like.
Do you think he's ever going to win another ring?
Not if he stays in LA. I think that's the thing that we were talking about earlier is he's got to make his choice. He's got to figure out what he wants to get out of the rest of his career. Does he want to maximize his championship window? Does he want to make as much money to own a team? Does he want to play with his son? I don't think he can have it all. I think he's got to pick which path is most important to him. And, something me and Alan talked about is I think the big reason why he probably won't pursue that ring is because what is the ring going to do for him at this point? Like, I don't necessarily think he's changing anybody's mind off of one more ring. Maybe going through it, who knows? Maybe,
especially if he did it this way.
Would be different. But I think ultimately people aren't going to change their tune on LeBron, and so he is probably just going to get. He's probably going to get a ton of money, and he's probably going to want to play with his son. That would be my guess at this point.
I assumed for many years that he really would want to catch Michael, just like Tiger was trying to catch Jack Nicklaus.
Right.
But now it's probably like he has to realize I'm probably not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. And I think that's the big part of it is at this point, it's just you only have so many years left, and what you might as well enjoy it. You might as well not give in to what everybody wants you to do. Be happy, I guess. Even LeBron is entitled to make his decisions for his own good. And I definitely think it seems to me. You talk about brands all the time. Seems to me like he's very comfortable in LA, and I think it's done a lot for his brand and for growing it. But yeah, I mean, ultimately as a basketball player, I don't think LA, besides the championship ring, has really helped his legacy at all.
Here's what Windhorse said. I don't think LeBron James is going to retire. I do think he's going to play at least one more season. I really don't see him leaving the Lakers. I think he will opt out of his contract though, because I think Bronny is entering the draft. That's Windhorst.
He knows. He always knows.
And in the Bay Area, they're all excited about LeBron going to join the Warriors. It's like, how is that going to happen?
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, we were talking about all three of them, and Chris almost left the studio.
I would have left the studio.
I thought about it.
All three of them. And there is the value, right? Let's say LeBron goes to the Warriors.
Goes to the Warriors.
And they win another ring. The people that LeBron is quote unquote trying to impress, they're not going to be moved by that. I don't know how what that fifth ring with Steph Curry, and definitely not if you had KD,
right?
But even with Steph Curry, I don't know what it's worth compared to whatever else LeBron is trying to do in life.
Well, if LeBron did still think, wow, it'd be nice to catch Michael for rings, he's going to play 2 more years. He's got to win the next 2, right? I wonder if he even says, well, I might as well try. I mean, I just wonder. I would think that would be something that would matter to him.
I would have thought, but it doesn't seem like that's what's important to him anymore. It seems like he lost that a couple years ago. And I don't know what exactly that flashpoint was, but it does feel like he gave up on the Michael Jordan quest, and ever since has just been focused on building his brand. And it's worked out for him.
Space Jam 2.
So, yeah, all of it.
By the way, Walt Frazier, I know you got to go. Walt Frazier said Wilt Chamberlain was better than Michael Jordan, which was so long ago. People go, whatever. And I just happened to see a box score from Wilt Chamberlain, and they didn't keep blocks and assists efficient. No, it was blocks and steals, but he had 52. This was in 1968, 52 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 24 blocks, and 11 steals.
What are we doing with that though? Where's the tape?
Chris, how many rings did he win though?
Where is the tape? All right. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Simone doing a great job as always. Thank you to Amil Fragoso for hanging with us. Thank you, of course, to Matt George from Locked On Kings. And you have the Drive guys up next, Whitey Gleason and Jay Johnson. Stiles and Watkins, until tomorrow, secure the bag like the bean.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right, backwards pass.